There's that.
Now you're getting close to 4K.
Yeah, it's like 170 away now. Oh crap, I need to mute this. There we go. Oh man, I need to pull up this other folder. Let everybody start coming in here.
What's up, AJ?
Let's shrink this without. There we go. What's up, Troy?
Hey, Troy.
Jimmy, hello. I think I got everything I need here. Man, there's something in the back of my mind I was supposed to be doing. I cannot think what it is. What's up, Can of Mackerel? You heading down to Lexington this weekend for that big old show with supposed to have cards, toys, Pokemon, freaking games, and all that? I know they're charging like $10 or $20 a day to get in. Yeah, it's Lexington's big old thing they do. I went to it one year and I didn't like it. Like Dan Severn will be there Sunday doing autographs. Jake Snake's there all weekend.
I like to get old Jake the Snake on a Funko.
If you had one, I can get it autographed. I don't even have to go to the show.
Yeah, well, all right. I'll have to get one.
No, I would need it now while he's in the area.
Yeah, well, that ain't gonna happen. When's the show? Next weekend or something like that? You said, or this weekend?
This weekend.
Oh,
They got that. What is it? Hobby. Why is my hand raised? Oh, that's my little cursor. Okay. I was like, why is my hand raised on this Zoom thing? And the whole time it was my cursor turned to a hand.
Are you talking about the Hobbypalooza?
Yeah, that Hobbypalooza thing, man. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I got the intent behind it. It's cool because you get to listen to some Tops and Panini solicitation of, what their greats are and stuff. But I don't know. I wasn't a fan of it last year, really. I watched a couple segments, and I guess I remember last year they had some people trying to sell their cards and stuff, and they were pushing people to their eBay page and all this stuff. And I was like, I'm not a. I mean, it's a good idea, but it needs to be run a lot better. I don't know. The idea is good there. Only 13 and a half seconds tonight, huh? It's about that. It's about that because it's weird going from Zoom and then having it push over to YouTube. There's a longer delay of at least 10 seconds more than normal. So if I was just on my regular camera feeding straight to YouTube, most people should be about 5 to 6 seconds behind. What's up, Barney? Get a couple more people in here, then we'll get it kicked off. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know about the Hobbypalooza stuff. Top's doing a lot of boxes for giveaways. Well, Top's better do something. I'm sure Panini's probably going to give away a couple packs here and there, whatever they're going to do. You never know what they're going to do, but
true. I mean, I don't know. I think if it was done better to where you actually had, I don't want to say bigger people onto it, but I mean, just think about it. If you had somebody come in there, maybe they ran a giveaway through their chat and they're doing like, I'm just using this for example. I'm not because it's just a high value product. Like they did a random team break of like no war. That'd be something people would want to watch. I don't want to watch people opening up like score football and stuff that's been overproduced. It's just horrible.
Hey, congrats, SPF. Hey, Todd, what's up?
Nice. I
Yep.
don't know if that was for me or from Joey, but I know we both had stuff going out a while ago.
I still have the 3 to give away. So no, I haven't given mine out yet.
Just so everybody knows, I've been up since 5 a.m. I'd even take an old man nap this afternoon. I've been going
Oh,
nonstop. So,
oh, you did? Last time I
yeah,
talked to you, you're like, I'm gonna take a little nappy nap.
and the phone wouldn't stop ringing. And every time I turn around, it was something crazy. Wait, what did you just show?
The 3 GMG slabs I need to give away.
Yeah, I got
I
one.
got 3.
I'm breaking them up over whatever you want to call it over time.
Yeah, I'm breaking them up over time. I got 3. I haven't given one out yet.
I have not heard anything about PSA can't buy SGC. PSA is actually owned by Collectors Holding or Collector Holdings, whatever it is. So I doubt they are. I just talked to SGC. It was either yesterday or the day before. My days are all blurred this week. Bad. It's been long days. But I don't see them buying out SGC. I can tell you though, they told me at SGC they're getting a lot more packaging, so these quick turnaround times are about to stop. Yeah, they're nice looking slabs. See, this is the one we'll be doing later tonight. Let me see. I got to put it like kind of on me so it doesn't hit the green screen. Yeah, it's Tyreek Hill. Let's make sure I caught everything in the chat.
Hey, DJ, what's up?
Oh, I need to go from top chat to live chat before I forget because I always miss stuff that way. All right, there we go. I'm not used to watching my own stream from a stream. Normally it's through the program itself. So that's why I'm like, there's something else I'm missing and doing. Just so everybody knows, next weekend, I don't know if I'm going to do overtime. If I do come on, it might be an hour earlier and just do like an hour stream because Saturday we're going to do auction day, and I got to get out with people to try to figure out a schedule and how many people are going to do it. You at least got both of us that's going to be doing it. I will have some hobby boxes. I'm not going to put them on the website. I'm just going to wait for Saturday to do them live during a sale. Tentatively, it should be museum, archive, signature players, retired series, Gypsy Queen. I think that's it off the top of my head. So long as all that stuff, I know museum's in because that's getting shipped to me Monday because I did my order tonight for it. Archive signature players was not in yet, so I'm going to group that together with Gypsy Queen and whatever else I got. I think some kind of NASCAR boom boom stuff, like maybe it was Chronicles. It's not in my box; it's somebody else's. But
DJ, CSG slabs, I like them if the subgrades are on there. I don't like them if there's no subgrades. If it's no subgrades, it's just got that blank spot. I don't like that. They're not bad slabs. I'm not a fan of the green. I mean, I think they've changed it a different color, but it's not bad.
I do not buy boxes from Dave and Adams. I have a license to where I can buy from GTS, Southern, or Peach, and it's a lot cheaper. Well, it used to be a lot cheaper. Now I might save like 20 or 30 bucks a box at the most. But CSG slabs, here's the thing. I don't like their label. I don't like SGC's label either. But CSG's backed up right now to where it doesn't make sense. SGC was way ahead, but now they're getting backed up. Because I don't know if it was Wednesday or Thursday, one of the 2 days I talked to him because I had an overnight package that was not picked up or signed and still not in the post office's records that it went to SGC's hands, even though they have it now. No, I'm not going to go claim insurance on or nothing. That's mail fraud. That's federal time. Just ask Brian Gilmore about that one. He knows all about theft. All right, let's see. I think I got it. All right, we're gonna kick it off. Market's been crazy. And my thing I do say, or Joey says tonight, that it's no means by telling you to buy, hold, sell, go get this, go do whatever out there. It's just to get information out there for you guys to use your own thought process and come to a conclusion on what you should do with your cards. Okay. This is all just straight information that I don't see getting put out anywhere. And I don't know if some people just don't know it or they're afraid because of the backlash you can get off it or whatever it may be out there. So I just want to put that disclaimer out there ahead of time. I will not tell you to go buy, sell, trade, hold, or do whatever there is out there on any product or card there is. But market has pretty much stabilized right now, in my own opinion. You will notice some cards are starting to go back up, but a lot of them are going back up because supply and demand onto it. And I'm going to use an example like if you've noticed LeBron James's Topps Chrome rookie cards, PSA 10s, a lot of people are holding them because they're in at them at $35,000, $40,000 or whatever they paid for them at that big height. Now they were sitting around, I want to say like 12, and I've seen them starting to hit like 15 and up. The reason behind supply and demand, people are holding it, less out there to buy. So you're going to see some stuff go up, some go down. A lot's going to be on player performance. I do think with PSA catching up as they are, that you're going to see an influx of a lot of cards that will still drop in price because of the population into both the pop report and what was produced out there. But for my most opinion onto it, I think that the market is pretty much mellowed out. I'm not going to buy any hype out there that the market's now going to go back up. These cards are going to go soaring. It's going to be off of, in my opinion, off of the player's performance. You know, is it off season, on season, trade deadline, free agency, whatever it may be. But the market itself is going to be dictated mostly by the collectors. Not meaning it cannot be tampered with, where people could go, you know what, let's go buy these up, buy them out on eBay or whatever it is, and make the market go up. It could happen.
I don't think anybody owns the Fleer designs.
Fleer's owned through Panini.
Fleer?
Yep. Oh wait, no. Fleer was bought
No.
out by Upper Deck.
So,
Fleer name
Fleer.
was bought out by Upper Deck, yeah, because they last did Fleer Retro.
Yeah, you're right.
Wrong one. I was thinking of Don Russ for some reason in my head. Don
Yeah.
Russ was bought out by, because Don Russ used to be incorporated with Leaf, but they separated. I forget who it went to. Then it went to Brian Gray, eventually buying Leaf, but Don Russ went to Panini with all the rights. Oh boy, I gotta start reading through these here.
Shohei's on fire.
Yeah, the 86 Fleer design was redone a few years ago with what's it called? Decades of Excellence. I believe I'm almost positive it was Upper Deck that did it too, because they originally bought that out. Yeah, I really do think we're steady right now in the market. You're going to see your ups and downs onto it. You're going to see probably more downs than ups, just for the fact that PSA over the last 2 months has done something stupid like 1.3 million cards in grading. And I got a video I'm going to be doing for either tomorrow or Sunday that's going to bring even more to what I did today with a 10,000 exclusive club into play to start generating thoughts on what you know, if you want to buy, sell, hold, trade, do whatever out there.
Hey, Derby, what's up?
What do you see with the market? Anything crazy on your end? Because I know you look at different things than I do.
Your 10,000, that PSA 10,000 thing you did was very interesting because some of those cards I was looking at until I saw that, and I was like, you know what? No, the overpopulation on those, maybe not want to get into it unless they're colored or they're paralleled or numbered or something like that. I get it, but I see a lot of stuff that's going on. Seems like the newer stuff, because it's just overproduced like crazy. There's just so much of it going to come back from PSA that hasn't came back yet. So stuff before COVID, stuff from, I want to say maybe from Luka trades rookie year before that, I'm going to start looking into, because all that stuff from then now, they just made so much of it. So it's kind of making me look back at some certain players. Some I kind of missed the boat on. Some I'm still kind of on the fence on. So it just, I don't know. I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff's going on with just the new stuff out.
If you look at 17-18 for basketball, it was just straight prism, straight optic. You either had retail, hobby, and that was it. There was none of all these variations. 18-19, Prism came out with retail and choice. They might have had fast break. Yeah, they had fast break too. That was it. But they were very underproduced. 1920 blew it out completely. Do you think, well, let me see here. Before I start losing these, do you think YouTubers do fake sales content and create demand for cards they have? I do. I do believe that 100%. Yeah, I think YouTubers do go out there, or whoever. Well, it don't be YouTube. It could be any social media influencer. If they're hyping cards and they're like, yeah, I bought like 10 of these, and they're telling everybody about it, it's a great deal. It's going to make them have a increase in value, because if they bumped it up, say 20% now, say 50 people go out there and each buy a card off of that, they could bump it up another 20-30%. They flip it, and all of a sudden they got they invest 100, they're selling it 160, they're making profit. What Troy say? No, I'm not going to do that, Troy. No, I can't even do it tonight. I don't want to do the 5 cards you should buy, sell, or hold. I like to show different trends, but in no time frame will I say go buy these or go sell these cards. It just makes you think, do you want to buy, sell, trade, or hold? Now, Joey knows what I'm doing, because I'll say it on a down low, but I don't want to tell everybody out there, because if I make the wrong choice onto it and people follow me, I just look bad.
Yeah.
And trust me, I bought into the wrong players and wrong types of stuff plenty of times. I mean, I did a video on some mistakes that I made through the hobby I think it was probably about 5-6 months ago. And people were surprised because nobody does that.
Oh, my big mess up. I did buy a Luka Optic PSA 10 rookie last year. I think I paid $800 for it. So yeah, I've lost a lot on that. I know they're only going for $325 right now, $400 on those. I lost a lot on that. I lost half my money on that Luka, but at that time, I didn't have one. It's a base. It's nothing special. Should I have waited? Yep. But like I said, that's the gamble I took at the time. That was in the playoffs. He was doing good during the playoffs, and that's when I bought one.
I don't think the National is going to be for. I think people are going to try to network the National, but they've been doing it now with Dallas, Philly, Tampa shows. I think a lot of cash is going to change hands because people have been holding off buying and selling a lot at the bigger card shows, to where they expect to go to the National and spend that kind of money. You will see more big players at these shows. You might see like Phil Hughes there and stuff like that. You already got some of the big players talking about they're going to be buying up all the Kobe, Jordan stuff out there. So I think there's going to be a lot of big hands. I also believe there's going to be a lot of trim cards at change hands too, and fakes. So, and I do have more news on the Goldin thing when I get down to it. There's been something that wasn't said about Goldin pulling that Jordan. I'll get into that when I get down to that, because I got the list on this side of me here. Yeah, I will not. I don't like pimping. I guess that's what you had there. Pimping owning percentages in cards or grading companies. I grade with everybody. I mean, no, I don't. Let me say, I don't grade there, but I grade with a good selection. I use PSA, I use Beckett, I use using SGC again. It was a big thing for me to swallow after what I had to deal with them. And I used GMG. I tried using HGA, couldn't get in past the lethal lottery, and walked away. I mean, I have people ask me all the time, am I into NFTs? I do have a Top Shot account, but I don't pitch it. To me, Top Shot is fun. It's not something I want to go out there and be like, oh man, I just got this rare card and sold it for $80,000. But I will tell you, if you do cash out on Top Shot, it takes a while. It's not instant. It takes a while onto it. Trouble with all these numbers we don't know about is that we don't know how many collectors we have. You could say you have 17,000 collectors off of it, but not everybody's going to collect baseball. And you have to remember that people out there are going to own 10 to 15 of that card. I think it was like 10 or 12 of them. I got one left, but I was pumping them. I got rid of them when they were $269. I sold them. And then the very end of it, I think I had like 3 left and I sold them at $219. I just kept one for myself. But there's many dealers out there that own 10, 20, 30 of those cards. I mean, think of Burbank Sports. I bet you they probably own 500 of them by easy because they're always picking stuff up.
Yeah. SPF. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I just was reading this thing.
No, I was saying SPF, don't go hard on pitchers. It's hard to go hard on pitchers.
Yeah, you'll never see a pitcher come in. It's going to be worth it. It takes forever. And then they're a flavor of the night because they throw a no-hitter or a complete game. And 2 weeks later, they're forgot about.
I mean, the most consistent pitchers right now, DeGrom, Scherzer is pretty consistent. Kershaw, I still don't go there with Kershaw. But pitchers is just kind of hard. Just consistency's hard.
The thing with Trout's rookie card is Topps Update was not produced like it is now. Overproduced now. Now, you did have your Walmart versions back then, and I can still remember being on message boards and people were trying to sell Trout rookies at $40. They couldn't. Next thing you know, you'd see 3 for $100. I was picking them up. So I had a stack of Trout rookie cards. I did get graded. I was the guy that was buying the diamond, the blue, the cognate. I don't think I owned the red. Can't remember now. But I had a bunch of them, and I held them for a long time. And when I saw the first big spike of them all, I sold half, made way more than I put into it. And then I started holding stuff. I mean, I wish I had done it with this Bowman autographs. I really do. I didn't. Just Topps Update was cheap for me. And back then, I mean, real cheap. We'll go back and if I can go back in the time machine, I'd be in 1952 or back in cigarette pack days.
The chewing tobacco days. Yep. I mean that definitely. It's starting to get some mantles, some maize.
Top Shot is a bust in a way. I mean, to me, I don't go on there spending hundreds and thousands of dollars. I started back in the day with Upper Deck E-Pack stuff, but you could actually request to have the real card mailed to you at like 25 cents a card or something stupid. But Top Shot's just something fun that I do on the side. I mean, do I sell stuff on her? Yeah, but I've never had a $30,000-$40,000 thing I pulled out of a pack either. I mean, some dudes cashed in on that early. They were lucky.
Oh, I'm sorry, Troy, that you got Osweiler rookies. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry.
I know some about Pokemon. I'm not like a huge expert. I got a whole stack of unopened wax over here of Pokemon. I just never touched it, and I got more coming in.
Hey, Magnus, what's up?
Sell it. Oh, dang. Why is Magnus? Oh, that's right. Your other account got away. I was like, why are you not modded?
Oh yeah. So sometimes we buy the wrong cards, but then once in a while we actually pull something, we get the right ones. It's collecting cards is like gambling. You just never know what's going to happen the next day or the next week or the next month, the next year. You just never know.
Oh man, first card I chased as a kid, Lemieux rookie. No, I take it back. It was my Jordan rookies that my mom ruined. Yep, because I was trying to think. The Lemieux I got when I was in like 8th grade. The Jordans I got in 6th grade because I was still in elementary school and I made the trade for them.
I chased the Ricky Henderson rookie.
And you guys wouldn't believe what I traded for it back then either. Adele Murphy reverse negatives, some Chris Sabo freaking rookies, Kevin Mitchell, Ben McDonald's, I mean, and I walked away with 3 Jordan rookie cards.
Yeah, Wade Miley's looking good for the Reds. David Price, Chris Saleton, Liz completely, yeah, endless. What was your first card you chased? Wendell Carter. Okay.
Oh, my first burn. Ryan Leaf. Ryan Leaf.
Oh, what was my first major burn? That's a good question.
See, I lucked out when I was a kid. My dad and uncle gave me their cards, so I had stuff from the 70s and 60s. So I was more into the older stuff than the newer stuff.
I think Dave Justice was mine. My first burn was Dave Justice.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like Justice, Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Heck,
David
Brian still
Justice.
collects Ricky Henderson. I mean, he's good. But I honestly I stopped watching baseball for the 4 years I lived in Hawaii. I didn't know Henderson played for the Yankees or Blue Jays. Alexander Diego.
Wow.
And Ohm. There you go. First female goaltender. I think it was what was his name? Was it Ally Frady or Chris Chelios did that slap shot in her and she walked away from the game afterwards? Oh, I don't know any Ryan Lease anymore.
How many starting lineups do I have? Well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 unopened. And I still got the ones I have as a kid. I still got like my Bo Jackson, my Mark Devereaux, my Steve Sachs, my Oral Hershiser. I have a bunch of those in the glass case, but the ones still packages are right here on the wall. I picked up all of my pretty much all my favorite players. Van Poppel, oh God, I remember the Van Poppel craze. Everyone's wanted Van Poppel and John Olerud at the same time.
The reason why Wander Franco's stuff, the base cards were selling like PSA 10s 280. Think how many PSA still has right now they're trying to grade.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the pop counts. I know people would have probably 30 or 40 of them sitting in PSA right now. Speaking of tops, I'm going to go in this a little bit further. So a lot of people probably don't understand what wasn't really understanding because when I said tops raise prices, it didn't deal with David Adams and like blowout prices right off the bat. So if you have a license, which means you have a federal EIN, state license, and all this stuff set up, there's a lot more now to get a distributor account you need. But we were used to be able to get pre-order on boxes a lot cheaper. So I'm going to use Bowman Sterling as my example. I think last year I paid like $1.50 a box for something like that, to where I was able to sell the mini boxes at $50 a box with shipping and everything off. It was cheap. This year I'm paying $268, and the last I saw they were $296 on Dave and Adams. That's going to hurt a lot of breakers out there with certain products now going to be in so close to the retail price that either the retail price is going to go way up because people are going to get greedy, or, you know, they're going to be breaking stuff at cost. And we're going to see a lot of breakers go away because they're not going to be making that money anymore. And you got to order a lot of product in order to start getting allocation. Slews? What is a slew? Starting lineups? No.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any. I did years ago, and I sold them to another collector, and I just didn't really want them. I mean, I should have probably kept them and stuff like that, but a lot of mine were hockey and football that I had. But be
You're
careful with top stuff and Panini coming out. You're gonna see a lot of this stuff. That's why I didn't really put the information out right away, because there's people that actually do the hobby justice and say they get a case for 2,000, it's selling for 3,000 on blowout. they'll put it all out for sale off of DealerNet or something like that, 2,500. Well, if now all of a sudden that price from 2,000 jumped to 2,500, they would have either broke even or could have lost money on it. And I wanted to give people a little bit of time to do the hobby justice, not to get burnt by it. The other thing was I didn't want people to hurry to go jumping on eBay buying them, because you already know they're not going to ship it. They're going to hold your money and it's going to be all kind of craziness. But be prepared that certain tops products are going to go up more than they have in the past. And I'm not talking about like top series 1 and 2, they were producing. But you're going to see Bowman is going to be increased in a lot of the higher end stuff. And I can tell you now, select basketball for me has jumped up threefold. So 3 times what I used to pay for a select basketball box is what I'm paying this year. Over 3 times. I think it's like 3.5 almost, to be honest. So just watch what you're buying into. Population counts are back. People are paying attention to it. Even the silver, a government computer going crazy behind me. The silvers that used to be rare are not rare anymore. Field levels, court sides, and select, not rare anymore. Look for numbered and autographs if you're going to want to hold stuff and not lose a whole lot of value. If you get the other stuff, grade it quick, sell it. I mean, otherwise, you're going to hold it and sit there and look at it and watch like a Zion-based Prism go from 1,000 to 370 right now, 380 maybe.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not out on loose, Robert Theodore. I mean, his stuff is fallen, dropped tremendously.
If said Lubob was a buy right now because he's unexpected. Yep. You don't know what he's going to do coming off of injury. He's very low risk and a super high reward. Now with who was the other guy you just said?
He said Jared Kalenic. No, Jared Kalenic.
No, he said Bobo.
Well, he said Kalenic up earlier with Wander Franco.
Oh, okay.
Kalenic, he's gonna. I don't know. He's gonna be taking the bus a lot. He's gonna be making those bus trips back and forth, back and forth. If he don't produce, he's gonna go down. He might be a quad A player. That's what I call them, the guys who take the bus back and forth. Not a AAA, not a major leaguer. He's kind of like a 4A guy. So I don't know about Kalenic. I'm still on the fence about him. But Lubob, if you're interested in Lubob, right now it's the time to buy. Stuff's low, stuff's cheap on him. He is a buy, I think.
Theodore, you're going to like my video either tomorrow or Sunday that's going to talk about some of the crazy cards that have gone through PSA the last 2 months. And it'll bring into perspective a lot of what I've been preaching about probably the last 3 to 6 months. And without me coming out saying, I would probably sell these right now, type deal. But if you look at it, you're going to be like, oh my gosh. Now, like the 89 Griffey Upper Deck rookie, I could tell you, I think they graded like 1,200 or something like that this last month of June, and only like 12 of them got PSA 10. So I still think an 89 Griffey Upper Deck rookie, while it is going down as a PSA 10 in value, it's still a good thing to buy if you can get one at a relatively good price or if you want to hold out longer. I still think the 89 Don Russ Griffey is a very hard grade. And when you're talking something that's like under 2,000 popping, like 40,000 been graded, I don't think that the $350, $400 mark, wherever it's at now, is even right when you start looking at what the upper deck does.
I had a theory. Remember the old classic Griffey rookies, the purple and the orange and stuff like that? I don't know how mass-produced classic was back then. I know it was produced quite a bit.
Yeah,
but that was some very thin card stock on those, man. Getting 10s on those, I have an orange 10. But I remember that card stock just being stupid thin.
I had a ton. I sold them all.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I kept was the 89 Don Russ because I pulled it and it was a 10. I have 89 tops. There's like 8 or 10 of them behind me. It all have chances of 10s, but as you've seen, they're high pops. And I mean, they're like $120 card. It's something I would send off value-wise. What did you just do down below me? Oh, you rolled over. I got to watch her. She's up.
Jazz Chisholm. He reminds me of like D.D. Gregorius. He's going to be a good player, but not going to be a fantastic player. So if you're going to, that's my comparison is D.D. Am I going to invest in Jazz Chisholm? No.
What's up, Jeremy?
Jazz Chisholm's not going to be another Lindor or Correa or another, top shortstop at the time. I think he'll be good, but I just don't think he's going to be top tier.
The other thing a lot of people were always shocked over was PSA's new prices that came out. Well, at least one level. For an Express, it went up $50 to $200. I did send 4 cards off. I overnighted it. They're in grading. I don't know how long it'll take. It's more of an experiment. Plus, I did have the 101 Tatis in there, Logo Man, and I'm trying to remember what I sent in the Zion out of 10 auto and Topps Chrome Chalk Dust LeBron, and I think it was the Ultra
You
Gold.
sent a soccer auto, didn't you? A soccer auto at a Chrome. Did you send that or no?
No, that's still behind me. It's because
Okay.
if it gets a 9, it's only going to be like a $600-700 card. I wasn't going to put it in for 200. I'll wait for a regular or something to open up.
Hey, Jeremy, what's up, man?
PSA's new pricing, I think they're doing it so they don't get backlogged. And if you want to get something graded enough, you're going to pay for it right now. I think once they catch up, which could be a year or two, I don't think we're going to see small amounts for grading through them. My honest opinion is that maybe in a year or two, and it'll probably only be for the guys that have memberships, they'll be able to do quarterly specials, and that's going to be where you're going to see it. I don't see what they consider value pricing being $20-25 anymore for modern or ultra modern. I think it's going to be higher. To what extent? I've heard different things, and I don't want to really hit it up, but if they do come out those prices, I'll tell you what, a lot of people are going to be complaining.
Yep.
They could lose set registry guys out of it, but they need to have a plan to where if they do that they pull back the memberships. They make it how Topps has that. What's that weird club in Topps called? The only way you can get in it each year is by lottery if somebody doesn't get into it. It's some Topps club, but you limit how many memberships that people have for PSA, and then you limit how much they can send in on quarterly specials.
CSG released their national prices for on-site grading. Okay. I haven't seen what their prices has been. Did you get burn on Nico Horner? Probably.
Nope, I didn't invest in them. I knew the Cubs always had hard stuff from Bryant and everybody else.
Well, Chris Bryant has had a bounce back year. He's having a bounce back year.
Yeah, he might be having one, but it's also a contract year too. I don't count it.
Yep. Well, look at Schwarber. Schwarber was kind of up and down with the Cubs. He goes to the Nationals. He's killing it. Now he's hurt. What's up, TJ?
No, I think economy is going to be probably 100 and regular is going to be 150. I'm talking about the value, the stuff that used to be 2025. Economy was up to 50 whenever they released the new pricing last. It's going to have a bump. I think economy will be $100, at least until they get everything sorted and the backlog is completely in control. Then they might start releasing those quarterly specials just to see. I think they're going to basically wean us back in very, very slowly to make sure they just did what we did before to them. Because part of this reason is because of collectors. It's not PSA's fault their backlog. It's because we sent every rookie card out of every product in to get graded because of that huge surge. Everybody's guilty across the board onto it. Yeah, Montgomery Club, that's it. Like the Montgomery Club.
Yeah.
The Montgomery Club's limited, and I think the way PSA should handle this, hint, PSA, if you're listening, read my big old survey, everybody has memberships, keeps their memberships. You let so many new memberships in per year based off of how many people drop it and where you think your workload's going to be at to where you could cater to that. Is it going to suck? Yeah, because then not everybody's going to be able to do value. At the same time frame, you got to limit what all group submission people can send in too. What's that? Oh, my eyes are bad tonight.
Kyle Tucker, Yordan Alvarez, Correa. Okay, Kyle Tucker, still not sold on. I saw the guy play a lot in Fresno. Not sold on him. Alvarez, he looking pretty good. Correa, He's consistent. Prey is not bad. Like you said, free agent. I'm sad that they gave my LeBron Chrome a 9. I thought it was perfect. Super bummed out. Hey, TJ, at this point, a 9 is better than an 8 on a LeBron. There's still money to be made on it.
You got to think too, PSA is now using Genamint to scan all those cards in. I don't think originally 5-10 years ago we had that scan in PSA to where they're kind of like, quote, fingerprinting the cards out there for everybody. So I'm going to give it some time. I mean, granted, if a card deserves a 9, you should get a 9. That's always been my thing. I mean, I've had cards I thought were 9s come back 10s and 10s have come back 8s. There's stuff that you just miss. You're like, wow, I just get an 8. Then you finally find it. And you're like, wow, I would not have guessed this was on there. I missed it or something like that.
Don't be surprised if economy is going to be like $50 or $60 a card when that comes back. The days of $25, $30 are probably over with.
Economy won't be 50. It'll be 100. Value, where you have your ultra modern, and your vintage is all
That'll probably be 50.
Way up. It might be
50 or 60.
It might be 60, maybe 75. I think with that way it discourages everybody sending every rookie card that they get in. And then we don't backlog again. Once they can get a good battle rhythm going in and they can say how much they're taking in, that's where you start releasing your quarterly specials that make up for your value. Oh, Rick, you're always in my stuff. I'm going to get you modded up too. But I'm not discouraged over PSA pricing. I understand why they did it, and it makes sense. I mean, from a business aspect, if they would have came back with Express, it's set what it used to be $75 a card. Can you imagine if people would have sent cards to them Express? Even if they sent it at 150, I think they knew that if they did it 150, they still were going to get a large chunk in, and those people they took from Express to go down and help other areas out would have to come back, and their backlog would be longer. If they put it at 200, instead of getting 10,000 cards, then they might get 7,000. So, something like that in the idea onto it.
But just be prepared for the other companies to get slammed if PSA does do it at those prices. Be prepared for those other ones. They're going to get slammed. And I have a feeling though they'll probably raise their prices too.
If they're cracked, I can't tell you how to get them out. If they're scratched, you can buy that stuff for cars. It's like a wax thing where you, like, if somebody brushes up against your car and puts a scratch in the paint, you can put it on there. And somebody else told me something else that you could buy too in one of the comments before that'll take the scratches out of your cases. I can't remember what it was called. Oh yeah, it's people sending stuff in all the time they shouldn't be sending in. But then you start getting people look at the other way. Well, it's their cards; they can send in whenever they want. I got it. But then we get a backlog, and then we run back into this problem again by them putting prices up and just try to eliminate getting all that stuff in. It's going to be expensive no matter what you do, Dale. It really will be.
Theodore, I think you named 2 players that I am kind of watching. I agree with those 2. There's a couple more in the minors I'm watching, but yeah, I do like those 2.
There's a guy in the minors right now tearing it up, and I will not even give the name out. That dude there is on my radar, and I've been looking to buy a couple of his autos just to get graded because this team here is notorious for having good people in the minors and either trading them there or bringing them up, and they become a has-been for 3 years, and they trade them. So there is one I've been watching and trying to grab a hold of right now. I don't think SGC is going to raise their prices from what I talked to them this week. I think they're going to wait to see how much they keep getting backlogged in. If they get backlogged, will they raise prices? Maybe they should just shut down and get caught up, then re-enter it back in instead of raising prices. I mean, I don't know. Those are different business methods and models. It's all up to, their leadership on how they're going to do it, really.
Exactly, Troy, right there. It eliminates all the people sending everything like bingo cards, speeding tickets, and receipts from In and Out. Exactly. At those prices, PSA is going to, they're going to prune the tree. They're going to prune it because they're like, you know what? No, don't send us all your base stuff. There's going to be a market and there's going to be a company for your base cards. It ain't going to be PSA. No way.
I think PSA you could use for your base cards. Here's my example. If I want to pick out one, maybe two rookies per sport, I could do it. But I got to be spot on them rookies. I really do. And I would have to be very, very sure on the products aren't being overproduced. So say I'm going to throw out.
Okay, do this one.
Jersted.
Who?
Say I want to chase Jersted. Because I'm not chasing. That's the only reason why I'm saying it. If I was to go out for his stuff, I would not be saying in his base Bowman rookies. I would be saying in his Bowman draft sapphires. Because that there is not highly produced. I would go out and like say when he becomes a rookie, he's in like definitive dynasty stuff like that. I would send in its serial number, and you could. And the thing is, if you have a product that's all serial numbered, if you really want to do the math up, you could count up how many population all cards are, figure out okay X amount of cards per box per case. Boom, that's how many cases they did. Versus, you can't do that with Topps, Bowman, Optic, Select, none of that because of how much retail they push out onto it. And that's why I said I'd be selective on the rookies that I would send into their base. I mean, would I send in, if it was football, silver prisms? Probably. I would probably take a gamble shot at it, but I probably would only send in what I would call a tens across the board onto it.
Theodore, quit talking. You're giving away a lot of good names. Knock it off.
Taking all your stuff.
Yeah, knock it off.
Don't worry, CDC's chasing like 40 prospects right now. You're going to name a few of them. You're good. You're good.
Hey, I chase prospects, but you know what?
Hey, that's
Some
what
will
you
hit.
do. I can't do
Some
it. That's
will hit.
too much. I don't want to invest into that. I wait till they're solid. I may invest into them with low serial counts or autographs, but that's about it.
That's what I'm doing. I'm looking for serial number cards or autos, numbered autos. That's what I'm looking. I'm not looking for the base cards. I'm not looking for the paper cards. I'm looking for the autos. I'm looking for the numbered cards out of certain products, not all products across the board. So
let me hit this real quick because I know people are going to be asking about it. The Goldin auction thing where they pulled the Jordan at. So basically, they had a card, Jordan PSA 10 Fleer rookie up. They looked at originally, put it up. People were bidding on it. Then they looked at it again. They're like, wait a minute, it doesn't look like a 10. We're going to pull this. They talked to the guy that they basically consigned it from and all that stuff. He's like, yeah, go ahead and send PSA, have it reviewed. There's more to that story now that has just been leaked from Goldin Auction. They put in it that it may have looked like it was cracked open and the card replaced inside there.
Troy.
Yeah, in 8 years, I plan to have it done in 2. That's my project. But
no, you said 8 days, not 8 years.
Oh crap! We just say 8 days. Hey, yeah, we're going back in time. I'm gonna be buying out everything. You're gonna come in next time, and I won't even have the green screen little background thing up. It's just gonna be stacks of 52 Topps cases behind me. I'm just gonna sit there one night and be like, "All right, guys, we're gonna open up a case of 52 Topps. Let's see how many people we get in here." Oh, gosh,
well, you're gonna make a throne of cases and just sit on them.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll have so much of it, I won't care. I'll put some pillows on it and stuff, just so it doesn't get smashed.
On the next episode of Game of Thrones,
Game of Extreme,
Game of Cases.
What do we open tonight? 52 Topps case. Or could you see those? Somebody went YouTube Live opening up a 52 Topps box. I'm not going to say
really
a 52 Topps box. What would happen? You would break the internet. As soon as one or two people saw it and they started posting on social media, you would probably have 5,000 to 6,000 people watching the stream.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Someone opening a 52 tops. Oh yeah. Everyone will be watching that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everyone will stop breaking that day. And be like, no, no, we got to watch
Well,
this.
breakers would stop and start watching it because they would be
Oh yeah.
curious onto
Oh
it.
yeah.
Can you
Oh
see how
yeah.
many
Everyone.
mantles or maids you pull out of that and just
Oh,
what would go on? It'd be insane.
all that. And then if you can find Clemente rookies, ooh, someone did a case of those or a box of those.
Yeah, that'd be different. But back to the gold thing, if he would have put out originally, they thought the case was cracked open and the card was replaced inside of it, I think a lot of the backlash wouldn't have went on. But the way they reworded it into, I think it was Twitter, it at the very end of it, it talked about where they thought maybe the case was tampered with. And when you use the word tampered with, that means it was opened up, a new card slapped in there and resealed, which will be interesting offhand. Stag of Piedmont. Oh gosh, yeah.
Hey Charles. Oh, Piedmont Corporal. Mm. Ah, ah, ah. Theodore wants to get timed out, doesn't he?
You know, I think that was you had said before about SGC and problems with PayPal. They haven't with mine at all. I don't know why or who all was doing it, but I also don't use a PayPal balance to pay them or PayPal credit card or nothing. I use it directly to the account that's linked on there. And it's off to my card off of my what I call my dummy account, my play account, where I just put the money in, then spend it. Because if it ever leaks out, there's probably under $100 in there, and it's not going to hurt me.
Break Kings and Hit Parade boxes. Hit Parade's not bad. It all depends if you're able to get like what was that one we were talking about? Isn't there was like a platinum one we were looking at or something a while back? When you get into the good ones, there's some really good Hit Parade ones out there.
Oh, it might be platinum. It's either platinum or sapphire. I'd have to look at them, but they're like $1,000 a box.
Uh-huh. But those are the good ones to get into. Break Kings, not bad. I mean, the Hit Parade boxes, if you get
garbage. I will come right out and say Break Kings is garbage. It's
Hit Parade,
overproduced, and your hit per case could be crappy as all heck. I've seen way too much of it. Breakers Row had a good product at one time for him, and they went the same route as Break Kings. It came into a crappy product. I don't support it no more. And I don't even think that GTS even buys their product anymore.
Card Score Company, yeah, another graded card company that sources everyday people to evaluate them. What?
So they stick a sticker on there that's like either a silver, gold, or platinum looking diamond.
So they grade the grader of the graded company.
Another one of those. That's grade to grader. Yeah. Let me go invest more into that stuff.
Oh no, John did it. He's a dick. He gets incomplete.
Yeah, I know this guy. I don't like him.
Yeah, he's getting
it. Diamond.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna give him the cubic zirconia.
It's not. Some people have gotten wrong cards and wrong orders. It's gonna be bound to happen. The thing is, if they do that and they can't figure out where it is, they're gonna pay you for the card. So you could just buy one. I know it's not like it was the one you had getting graded. I've never had with PSA, Beckett, SGC, or GMG, and since when I started grading 2000, I never gotten the wrong cards back. Never. The people that are having that come back, I'm not too sure how it's happened. I've seen a couple videos and they get upset on. I mean, I'd be upset too. Somebody else got their card and I got theirs or something like that. But overall, it'll get sorted out. Mistakes happen. I mean, breakers do it all the time by mistake. It's not like it's on purpose.
Richard, I have a 56 Colfax that have been told could be a PSA 7 or 8. Only thing is wait times. The story is people getting the wrong orders back. I've never gotten the wrong order back. Should I finally give in and get it graded? I think so. I mean, it's a 56 Kofax. If you think it's in pretty good shape, I would send it in to PSA. Depending on, how fast you want to get it back, the more you pay, the faster it'll come back. I mean, my Super Express I did on that LaMelo Ball, I had it back within a week, and now it's at $300. So
Yeah, I'm at a week now. My Express is like in grading. It's been in grading since Tuesday, I think. So I'm hoping that Express is still like the 8 to 12, 15 business day thing and should be back within the next 2 weeks. I'll see. Like I said, I overnighted just so I can get it there to figure out what the times are and if I want to still use that service later. Oh yeah, there are a lot of new people that are graders out there and don't know anything about it, but they had to hire to meet our demands. There's going to be a lot of errors. There just is, regardless of if it's PSA, Beckett, or SGC. Now, a lot of these smaller startup companies now they have no room for error.
nope.
They should be triple and quadruple checking their stuff because as soon as they have something wrong, they're going to get blasted. Just like HGA's been getting blasted nonstop, especially for the Josh
Theodore.
Allen and Jim Allen graded card. It's supposed to be Jim Kelly. Yeah, I mean, there's all kind of stuff out on that. It's just people are blasting them onto it. With social media nowadays, you're going to get blasted regardless.
Sports card investor dad shocked how many people follow him. He just regurgitates what he hears. Probably has a production crew. That's what everybody does. Everybody on here they hear things. The day PSA announced they're bringing back what was it? Was it regular or what was it? No, Express at 200. You know how many videos there were of people doing the same exact video? Breaking news, breaking news. Everybody wants to just copy. There's no one out there being original or doing anything that's different.
No, that's the thing is you could go to any channel and listen. The content's going to be the same across the board. And the bad part of that is the social media influencers putting out bad poop because they're hearing bad poop from somebody else across the board without doing any research. And they're like, oh my gosh, I got to put this out because I'm going to get new subscribers and get monetized and get views because I can make this cool thumbnail. There's no thought in their process whatsoever. And I've deleted channels because I'm just tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. I mean, there's channels that just open up boxes all the time, and I get bored with it. I don't mind watching people open up new stuff or stuff I haven't seen in a while. That's why I don't post a lot of my stuff anymore. I open up if it's not something that's going to be worthy for you guys to see me open. It's a dud box. What's the point of it? To be honest, it's more exciting when you see something good get pulled out of it or something like that, or if it was something quick where it's like a 5-minute rip, I would do it. But the stuff I spend 20 minutes doing, and I'm at the end of it, I'm like, this ain't even worth showing. But I do believe there's just too many people out there who want to be content. They call themselves content creators, but they don't know how to create content whatsoever. They repeat and repeat without digging in, and they're giving a lot of bad advice on what to go buy, sell, trade for. And it's going to kill a lot of people. So if I'm a new collector and I'm like going on YouTube and I follow a couple people and I listen to them saying the same thing because they regurgitate what they're hearing from each other, and I go follow it and I lose $1,000, $2,000 following it, I'm going to get out of the hobby. And that's not what I want to see with people out there. We need to look basically at the future past us and our kids. We need to keep it going because otherwise we're going to leave it up to all these investor people out there. Oh boy.
What Charles said.
Where is Charles at on here? He must be.
He's up there. He's up a little bit further.
Oh boy.
What Derby said.
Good random people give it. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff out there. Yes, I think the movie The Jerk. I don't think they're going to get fired right off the bat. I think that they're on like a probational status for a while. And I'm going to guess because they're supposed to have like 3 months or plus of training before they're even allowed to start grading cards, and they're supposed to be reviewed twice afterwards. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to find people to fill those jobs to begin with. And after you get somebody in there, it has, I'm going to say, a tad bit of knowledge. You want to keep them for, a long time because they're going to learn and grow into it. I would like to see people make those errors, get fired and reprimanded, but in the long run, people are human. They're going to make the errors. Oh
Dale.
boy.
Dale. Okay, there's one thing that this channel will not do that everybody else does. We're not going to tell you who we're investing in or who we're saying, hey, you guys go out and get this guy now before he gets big. We're not going to give you any advice on what guys to get because I don't want to be wrong and steer people in the wrong direction. I'm not going to say do this. I'm not going to say go here. I'm not going to say anything like that. Everybody makes their own decision. It's your hobby. It's your cards. It's your choice. You do what you want. But a lot of these people who say, "Oh yeah, invest in this guy or invest in this or start picking this up or get this before this." No, because if you're wrong, that makes you look bad because you're giving bad advice. I'm not going to be on there as one of the people on the list of people who give bad advice. No, no thanks.
No, and I have no problem telling you guys if a guy flunks out that I invested in, like OB flopping, topping. And I have no problem if somebody takes off being like, yeah, I was buying these. I'll show them. I show the good and the bad. But I just don't want to see people waste their money thinking that I'm going to be right 100% of the time and then they lose. That's the thing. But I don't mind showing stats of stuff like the 10,000 all exclusive 10,000 club from PSA. That there was the point of that video was to show you pop counts and to make your own determination. Do you want to buy, sell, trade, hold, whatever it may be out there onto it? Some people might be like, wow, I could buy a whole lot of these. Some people might be like, ooh, that's a high pop count. I need to get rid of these before they go down anymore. Will they go up? They might go up. They might go down, but you're not going to see them go dramatically up. I can tell you that now. If they do, I would be in complete shock. We'd have to have a huge increase of collectors. We would have to have something like 3 or 4 folds of what we did during the surge for those to really gain a huge boost up. Now, when a product first comes out, you have that first big initial increase in price. Then as cards start getting graded in performance, you start seeing how quick it may go down. And I'm just talking about the base stuff. I'm not talking like NT and iMac, but like Tops or Bowman, stuff like that. They'll settle into a price range. And then all it takes is one person out there to be like, man, I just picked up 6 Wander Franco rookie cards. And then everybody's like, ooh, Wander Franco. Let me go spend my money. I mean, look at the kid. He's barely batting over 200 right now. I wouldn't spend $1,000 on a rookie autograph of him right now. No way. I'd rather go buy for $1,000. I could go buy me like a Carlton Fisk rookie, probably a PSA 8 or 9.
I yeah, I just don't. I just don't want to give bad advice. I just don't want to give I don't want to steer anybody in the wrong direction. That's the thing. If I make a mistake, I'm gonna make a mistake, and I'll say, yeah, I made a mistake on my own stuff. I'm not gonna be responsible for anybody else's mistakes. Not gonna happen.
I gotta go back up here, Richard. Well, I appreciate you watching, Richard. My whole idea behind this year was to really start more with content and stuff that's not really told out there. That's why, like the last video from today, the 10,000 exclusive PSA 10 club, should start getting people thinking because PSA still is a backlog. That's just PSA 10s. How many Beckett 9.5s and Beckett 10s are out there? I know Beckett 10s are a little more scarce, but you group that all together, and that's a big chunk of cards sitting out there. Now, I mean, if you got black labels and 10s, yeah, they're going to be a little bit more. You'll probably get more onto it, but it's all going to go off of that PSA 10 price and 9.5 too.
Charles, exactly. But Charles, Gary Vee made a lot of people a lot of money. Gary Vee made a lot of people a lot of money. That's for sure.
Charles, we've been talking about that for a while, me and you. He's always been pumping that stuff, and he already buys it. And that's one of the influencers I'm talking about. And I'm not saying anything bad about it because he has a business and he's already pumped the people he's buying for into it. He's like, look out, buying these now. You know why? Because he already has a ton invested into it. Now he wants that next surge up so he can make more money. And then all of his investors are like, cool, we just made money. Let's give him some more money. The real collectors already know what they're doing out there with stuff right off the bat. Oh, okay. My phone was blowing up over there. Thought maybe something went with the stream. I figured you had said something anyhow. But yeah, I don't follow what anybody else thinks. I mean, when I talk about in confidence with other people, it's kind of cool because there's like, you got a group of select people, you talk about stuff, and you're like, oh, I didn't think about that. And it starts generating ideas. Are they right? Well, if they're right about this, how about this here? Could that be the next thing?
Mm-hmm.
Might put some money into it. You never know offhand.
It's a snowball effect. That's all it is. Just don't know. It's just always rolling. See, Rick, look at that. Too many YouTube channels spews garbage to get subscriptions. You know how many subs I have on my channel? 285. I'm not going to spew anything, but I'm not a big channel. I'm a small channel. But I tell you, I mean, I don't do videos like eXtreme here. He does great videos. Am I going to get to there eventually? Yeah, I need to get some more equipment, get some more stuff to do some stuff like that. But I'm not, I'm not going to just spew garbage to get a subscription. I don't care. If I stay at 285 the rest of my life, I stay there. I don't care.
One of my issues with myself is I don't take time off. I'm always reading, talking, and educating myself with everything that's going on out there. And I have it from a distributor standpoint. I understand breaking because I've done breaking for a long time. I just stopped because now, granted, guys, I'm going to tell you this: that if like in a year or two prices come down to where it's reasonable again, I might start breaking again to where I don't have to, charge obscene prices for stuff. I don't know. That's the only reason why I keep my account open buying stuff. But at the same time frame, you got to be looking at total concept of the content that's being pushed out there. I'm like reading halfway through how some of the comments on here, but the product, a lot of the product nowadays doesn't make sense to break at the price it is. It's a high gamble to hit. Even when you start going to stuff, that's why I don't mind selling personal boxes to people if I could give somewhat of a break onto it.
Hey, Goody, what's up, man?
Pops is starting to take that stuff away from us being able to do that with certain products. Panini too. I mean, it's you got to look at the whole aspect out there onto it, and you got to do a lot of research. I mean, there's days on Saturdays where I want to have movie day and just watch what I've missed off of my cable that what they call it, DVR or whatever. And
you guys don't
start digging into stuff.
You guys don't realize how much eXtreme does stuff. I'm always talking to him, and he's constantly working, constantly busy. Very rarely does this guy take time off, let alone sleep. So, I mean, he reinvented his channel from breaking card products to scan videos, information videos. Not very many people do what he does. So, like I said, this guy don't sleep. I take that back. He sleeps with the pug when the pug's ready to go to bed, but the pug's always sleeping.
Yeah, she's under me now. Well, she was under me. I don't know where the heck she went to. Oh,
but no, he puts in the work, guys. He really, really does.
And that's the idea behind it. You want stuff that's fresh out there that a lot of people don't see or don't know. Whether I'm looking at blowout forums or I'm talking to people or there's an article somewhere out there where, maybe that article is only getting 200 views onto it, and it should be information is put out to everybody. I know some people pump like GTS Live and all those other places that do their podcasts and stuff. They do put out some good information, but they have a large following onto it. A lot of my stuff is either coming from people that tell me about it, or I'm just searching across the board on stuff. And there's so much stuff that's put out each day that I have to go through it and like, this just isn't worthy to put out. If there's some days I put out 2-3 videos, there's some days I might not put out anything just because there's nothing to really talk about out there.
I don't know who bought Press Pass. I don't think anybody bought Press Pass, or was it they're not around no more. Is it hit?
Sage is still around, and
and
there's another one that was around because they just hit me up on it. Wild Card came back. I don't know. Sage has not been around for a while. I can't think who it is now. It's not Sage. There's another one out there.
I know. I'm trying to think who you're talking about too. I know Leaf's still doing their stuff.
Yeah, I try to just give out honest videos and let people have their own conclusions to everything on there. And that's the point of most of the videos. A lot of stuff's just so we don't have everybody out there getting burned on scams and trim cards and losing money and everything else. As far as Kyle Lewis, yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen enough of him. I know he's out. I have Kyle Lewis cards, but I don't know.
Leaf
like
bought Leaf bought Pro Set, didn't they? Because I know Leaf came back with the 89 Pro Set. Didn't Leaf buy Pro Set? And Leaf bought Wild Card, didn't they?
Oh, I gotta think here.
Pacific Panini owns.
Mm-hmm. Pro Set.
I think it was Leaf. Because they just brought them back this year, the old 89 design.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. I'm trying to think here. It might change hands a couple times throughout the process. It's been a while. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the new wild card stuff at all. I like the older stuff where you used to get like the 1,000 time and 100 times and stuff like that onto it. This new stuff just doesn't look right to me.
DJ Panini will never get MLB licensing. Never.
I don't think I would say never to it. I think eventually this is what's going to happen. Topps somehow is going to sell part of their company out to somebody. I don't know who. I can see this happening eventually. What will end up happening is Topps and Panini are going to work somehow something out to where Panini gets Major League some rights with like say 6 products. In return, Topps is going to be able to get like a couple products in football and basketball again. I think eventually within a couple years it's going to happen. If it's not them, I could see somehow Upper Deck swinging it again, getting back into it all.
Well, the Evil Empire owned Topps. And the Evil Empire's got tons of money. I don't think they'll ever get rid of baseball, especially when they have a baseball team. They're doing their spring training in Walt Disney World.
I don't know. I think Upper Deck is going to make the biggest play eventually because of who they have contracted. LeBron, Jordan, Ben Simmons. I mean, Ben Simmons is a big name, but his rookie year, he was big. I could see somehow that pitch coming out to where something around there gets worked out with Upper Deck coming back. I can see it. I just don't know when. I just have a funny feeling Upper Deck will end up making a splash somehow. And they kind of redid it back, I think it's about 3 years ago. Everybody remember Upper Deck Hard Court? It was a slab of court that had the person's image on it. Some of it had some relic into it. Some had autographs. That was a good idea. I really enjoyed that product. It was cheap, it was affordable, and you could get Jordan and LeBron's. If you were able to get a case, I'm almost positive you either had LeBron and Simmons in it. One of the three. You might have had, it might have been just Jordan or LeBron per case. I can't remember, but it was either a relic or not. I'm not saying you get an auto each in case, but you at least would get a relic.
How to get value of cards in general? Do you use eBay for pricing? eBay, that vintage card that Jason did a video on not too long. Yeah, VCP.
Vintage card pricing.
Yeah, but with eBay now, the way it's hard to look up cards the way they did it now. It's just it's not as easy to look them up.
And it's affecting everybody else's graphs that they use too now. I've noticed it with VCP, and I've noticed it like going into Card Snoop or Slab Watch. Like Slab Watch, if you know the slab that had the best offer on it, you take that little eBay ID number, it's like 15 numbers, copy it out of URL, put in Slab Watch, they'll tell you exactly what the card sold for on a best offer.
130 points, not bad.
Yeah, 130 points has been going down a lot because of the new eBay stuff. So did Card Snoop for a while. It's still not accurate at all. That was my question when guys asking about how you're going to find the actual Jordan comps if that guy gets reimbursed. I was curious. I said, because eBay's not really the standard anymore. I mean, you got My Slabs out there, you have all these auction houses out there, not to name other platforms, too, that are doing it all. Monthly books do not hold up to the first. Yeah, the old magazines don't hold up anymore at all. Terapeak's good. You have to have a store though to use it, or you have to buy a subscription.
Yeah, the 87 Fleer Tiffany and the Fleer Flare and Studio. I mean, you still got Studio with Panini. That's a Don Russ product. So, but the Fleer and the Flare and the Ultra and stuff like that, we don't get those no more. I do miss the Ultra though.
I like the Ultra. They had good subsets. They really did. I really enjoyed the subsets in Ultra.
Especially in the basketball in the 90s. They had some of the best ones.
Hey, when they came out with the gold medallions and they were die cuts, and then they went to platinum medallions, that stuff was hot.
Oh, I like the old Thunderclaps.
Oh, Terapeak's free now. Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. I knew it was just you had to have a store subscription. There's another crap. I cannot think what it's called. I found it off of somebody's tweet, and it was like called Alt or something like that. And you could download it to your Chrome, Google Chrome. What is it? I think I have it up here. Yeah, it's called Alt. Real prices on eBay best offers, and it pulls it up just like Suplex used to do. They might have. I don't know. I don't really at all. I have my Alt on, and it just tells me all the prices across the board. But I was just thinking, we were talking about videos that are just being put out everywhere. I'm tired of seeing national videos about the national. I really am. The national's so far out. You see, I'm prepping for the national. I'm not going to national. And this is why. I'm going to the national. And this is why. Here's my thoughts. I've been to the national plenty of times. I haven't been there probably in the last, 5 years or something. It's a great experience. If you've never been to one, I would say try to go for the full experience. There's so much after hours of Gold Peak, after stuff on that you can go to, from events that you could pay for to trade nights and everything. You are exhausted. But I will say, do not go to the Atlantic City one. By far, that was the worst that anybody's ever gone to. Because it dealt with because of the gambling going on there and a lot of other things, but even the people that paid to set up there will not ever go back to Atlantic City. And the sad part is they're forcing them to now because if you had a table, say at this year's, they offer you to go next year, you miss out and say no, you're in the lottery now to get your tables back. So they're kind of forcing people to go to it if you already are set up at it. But it was a bad experience. So many people hated it. I mean, if you could get into, I know the panini party's not going on this year, I believe, from what I heard. But if you could get a panini ticket, it used to be like $2,000. I'm guessing now they're probably like 3 or 4. But that party there is really good. I mean, you do get the silver and gold packs, which you have to unload quickly because otherwise they die down. You get some autographs. You get the black box with a 101 or I forget what it is into it. I'm trying to think, but the party overall is really fun. If you can get to a panini party or tops party, those are fun. There's a lot of giveaways and stuff during them.
Oh, Gary V already spoke about the national. He already talked about what he's going to do at the national.
Oh yeah.
I've never been to the national. It is on one of my bucket lists just to go one year to check it out, get the experience. Probably just go one time, but yeah, if I go to the national, I'm going to go. I'm going to have a mindset of what I want to look for, and that's it. Because I don't want to go look at every vendor. I'm just going to go look and see what I want to find. I have a list of certain cards I'm looking at. If I don't find them, or if I do find them, that's all I'm going to do.
What I did when I used to go to the national, I'd walk the whole floor, and guys would be like, "What are you doing with your phone?" I'm like, I'm taking a picture of this so I know where it is and to come back to, in case I want it later. And that's what I did. I would go and I'd walk the whole thing, get as much as I could in. I'd go get something to eat at one of the lounges because they're having licensing and stuff. You get like free food, GTS and stuff. You could sit on a couch or chair, whatever they had in there. Then I'd be like, all right, I'm going to go make a move for these cards today because they're probably going to be gone. And then I'd get them and I'd go away and I'd go do other stuff because I know YouTube's gonna like Troy saying it's gonna be flooded with national videos. It's gonna be insane. There's gonna be big deals going down. Everybody's gonna be wanting content. To me,
There's going to be
I
so many
like the smaller
camera
shows.
crews. There's going to be so many camera crews. There's going to be so many people just doing their thing. I mean, you're going to have an entourage of 30 clicks running around. It's just going to be a who's who of, hey, he's on YouTube. Hey, let's follow this guy around.
Yeah, that's the thing is that I just don't. I'd rather go to small shows and tape them because you get better content and you're not worried about getting bumped by swarms of people and everything. I don't know. That's just me offhand. Let me see. I'm catching up here.
Hey,
Charles,
Brian,
I
what's
might
going
be
on?
coming to Vegas to that show October 22nd and 24th. I'm pretty sure right now, I'm about 85% sure I'm going to come to it. That might be the show that I go to instead of Dallas because it's like 200 tables out there. And the thing is, I could fly out there, stay at the Bellagio for free, and just take a whatever down to the show and back.
I'm sure you'll be able to find a tons of Osweiler, Troy, in the bargain bins. You're just gonna have to go digging. You're gonna go digging.
Yeah, that's what I did, Arnie. I used to just take pictures of my phone so I knew where I was going to. Oh, good luck on the autogram.
I don't think Vegas should have the national. Oof. That'd be a little interesting. Then you'll have Vegas Dave running around with everybody. You know, they'll pull up in a stretch pink limousine just to make a little entrance.
Now, I think the Vegas one in October will be pretty good. I'm almost positive I'm going to be able to go to it. I just got to see where I work, where we are in the cycle, and if I could take off. Because I think what I'll do is fly out the day before and fly out like the Monday after. And just, I'm not going to be like a big gambler. Whatever they give me for the Bellagio is all I'll gamble. But I'm more out there for the show and to walk around. It's been a while since I've been to Vegas. And if I can get my buddy to go out with me from up in New York, yeah, it will definitely go through there. National James is first week of August.
I thought it was the last weekend of July.
It
Or the
goes
last
into
week of July.
August. It's like July 31st to like August 4th. National.
No, I'll go with National Pub in a couple of years when everything's actually calmed down. It's not going to be so crazy because honestly, how? Go ahead.
July 28th, August 1st. I knew it dipped into August.
We'll see in a couple of years how long these little YouTube channels of all these guys making their content is going to be in the next 5 or 6 years. We'll see if they're still around.
Well, you can look now. Look how many people who were on it last year aren't on it now, not making content. I told you I went through, I deleted probably about 30 channels because they're not doing content. I don't even see them anywhere anymore. July 28th, James, to August 1st, and it's up in Chicago.
Yeah, they were supposed to have it in Cleveland next year, but Cleveland said nope.
Yeah, the Atlantic City one I'm definitely out on. So probably the following year, I will probably make my way to Chicago. And the only reason I'd rather go to Chicago is due to the fact if I do bring Jordans, they will definitely sell for more in Chicago. I could get more of a premium up there than I would anywhere else. Vegas show is downtown World Market. Oh, yeah. I know the Bellagio. I was going to say Bellagio is like a 15, 20-minute drive, but I'll just have them drop me off with one of the services from the hotel, and then I'll just cab it back. I mean, I'll use whatever they give me to go there and back. That's the only thing good is that, like, the concierge at Bellagio bugs me.
They do
And
that with me at Paris.
yeah, she's like, "Are you coming back out this year?" I'm like, "I'm thinking about, well, you need to let us know so we can get you your room, and then we'll get you from the airport. We'll give you X amount comps on food and gameplay." And I'm like, okay.
Is interest in new cars declining? I don't think so. A lot of people are going to be chasing the new stuff no matter what because it's the new stuff. But the new people in the hobby, they're going to go for the new stuff. A lot of people, they'll still be going for the older stuff, but I really, really think it's not declining. The new car is declining. No, it's just going to be overpopulated. That's for sure. It's going to be overproduced.
I think interest in new cards are hot when it comes out, and then it fizzles very quickly. Use luminance today. There's people who have cases of it can't break it, and they're way under cost. I know people trying to break luminance cases at $50 below box of what it was selling for on Panini, and they couldn't even break it today. I think that we think how I want to word this here. The cards will decline more, and people are just not out for those bases and silvers and stuff like they used to. They're looking for those autographs and those cards that are serial number to where they feel safer at. And same with like vintage and low pop stuff from like, I'll go 99 and back for right now. That's probably a safe bet in saying. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you lost the 9 center. That's what it was. I remember it was something up there. More drug money in Chicago. That's all right. That could get a lot more money in Chicago for Jordans. I'll tell you, that's always been a thing, regardless of Jordan leaving there and going to play for the Wizards and being part of Charlotte and all that. At any time, you could take a Jordan up into Chicago and get more of a premium anywhere else. I could take him to Dallas and I'd still get a good fetch for him, but you go to Chicago for a show, you're going to get rid of your Jordans because they all want them up there. The Rogers guy would be a nice addition. Good old NTC. Death Valley.
Mm-mm.
Gosh,
Right.
I remember days of walking in the Death Valley. Oh, you just brought back some bad memories. Long, long movements. And then we get done. They'd give you like 2 hours. Then you have to go to all these briefings. Then you have about another 2-3 hours to rest and all over again. Going like days.
Brian, Jason collects Clemente's. He collects Nolan Ryan's. What other guys you got? Your Jordans.
I do Jordan. I do collect Nolan Ryan, Sidney Crosby rookies,
Mm-hmm.
Roethlisberger rookies, Clementes. Clementes are vintage only unless I can find like a cut auto or a bat knob. I also hold stuff like bat knobs and 101s pretty well to a point. I guess you could say I collect them, but if I got offered something stupid for them, I'd sell. I mean, honestly, any of my stuff could go for sale at any time. If somebody walked up to me with cash that was like some absurd amount, I would sell. I couldn't say no. Even though I put in the time and effort into it, at this point in time frame, I'd be like, done. I know guys during the surge that were like, say, big collectors at Curry or Jordan. I'm trying to think a couple other ones. Those are probably the two primary that sold a good chunk of their collection at High Point. Now they're buying it back for a third of the cost.
Theodore, where is Simmons going? I got a little hunch on a three-way trade. I think that's going to happen with Simmons, Lillard, and Porzingis. I could see Simmons going to the Trailblazers. I see Porzingis going to the Trailblazers. I see Lillard going to the Knicks, and I do see Simmons possibly going to the Mavericks. All three of those guys are probably going to be gone.
Rick, no, they are becoming a pain in some aspects, but that's why I said you can't come in it right now as a investor. You got to come into it and just get what you like. And if you're out there trying to invest right now, it's going to be really, really hard with the prices and the way the market shifts. And it did shift down. Now you're going to see bump up, bump down. Some people are going to be like, "Oh, look, Kobe just went up $300. They're on the rise." Well, that's one sell or two sells. It's also due to the fact that half the people bought them at like $5,000, and they don't want to sell them right now because they're going to lose half of the value onto it or plus. So supply and demand is going to play on to it a big part.
Charles, Jason collects Greg Oden and Brian Taylor. You're forgetting Ryan Leaf and Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah. I collect anybody that was hot as a rookie and now they don't exist anymore. Almost like Mark Sanchez.
Sanchez had a better career than Ryan Leaf and Jamarcus Russell. He is a Matt Leinart collector. He collects Matt Leinart.
Who was the other quarterback that turned wide receiver? He came out in 2013-14.
Quarterback turned into a wide receiver. Are you talking
I
about
would say the Jets drafted him.
Tebow?
The Jets didn't draft Tebow.
He was a Jet though.
He didn't go from quarterback.
Oh, are you talking Geno Smith?
Okay, it ain't Geno Smith. It was the other dude that came out with Geno Smith. There was another name. He went from it wasn't the Jets that got him. Yeah, I think he was like Ohio State quarterback too. I know he was somewhere in Ohio as a quarterback.
Oh, you're talking about? Oh, I think I know who you're talking about now. I can't think of the guy's name.
He was from right where I grew up at, another town. I can't think of the name now.
Heath Schuler. Come on
now. Dale, the trade thing I'm looking starting in September. Now I'm gonna have to go look at the draft because I cannot think who it was now. Okay, it was in 2013. It might have been 14. He came out or 12.
I can't think of it right now. I think I know who you're talking about though.
Maybe it was 12.
Why is the name Braxton coming to mind?
No, it ain't him.
Terrell Pryor.
That's it. Pryor. Yep.
There you
Pryor.
go, card deal. There you go, Terrell Pryor. Yep, there he is.
Pryor is who it was. Yep, that guy there. I was trying to think about it. It's been a while. Terrell Pryor. That's who I like to collect. The bust of this year's NFL draft, in my opinion, is going to be Trevor Lawrence.
Stop right there.
He asked. I'm just giving it
Hey,
straight
hey,
up.
I am a Jags fan. Come on, man. I got to have some kind of hope.
Well, you better have more hope in Tebow than you do Trevor Lawrence right now. Heck, Tebow could be starting quarterback for him, be probably better. He could throw to himself. New stuff is not an investment. Yeah, the new stuff that I get into though is like NT, Definitive, Diamond Icon stuff. It's lower produced.
Are you talking about Maurice Claret, Charles? Wow. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Ellis Burks. Well, here's my thoughts on that. I don't mind losing money because at the same time frame I make money. It's at the overall at the end of the year. If I'm in a positive, I'm happy. There's plenty of things I lose money on, but I just got to hope my gains over the losses are a lot better.
Hey, no one ever gets it right. You are going to make some bad choices. Just how you rebound from it.
Dennis Smith, that was the Mavs dude everybody was chasing. Hey, and I don't know who's going to be a good quarterback out of this draft. That's why I haven't even gone after anybody. I don't think Fields is going to do it. Zach Wilson's going to a horrible team, which might just ruin him.
The guy who the Patriots got, I think he's going to be the best one.
Mac Jones, I don't know.
Yep.
I mean, people are liking Trey Lance. I don't know. I don't want to put any money into it. If I get into a break and I pull something low numbered, yeah, I'll probably hold it because it's going to be one of those big gambles. But usually I have some warm and fuzzies on stuff every now and then, like I did with Mahomes and Herbert. But this year I just don't. That's why I have an ex-wife.
That's who I thought you were thinking of. Hey, thanks, card deal. Ellis Burks and Greenway. Oh, yeah. Greenwell. Mm-hmm. Sam Horn. Wow. You're forgetting Todd Benzinger.
Talking about Eason. I'm a
Hope
holder.
so. I'm holding on that too. I think Mac Jones is going to be the quarterback in the draft. He's going to be behind Cam Newton. Every quarterback the Patriots have had, besides Stidham, who I don't know why they've never given the guy a full chance. You got to think Brissett. He didn't do bad. He went to the Colts, still didn't do bad.
I think this might be a year we don't have a strong quarterback, and it's going to be a running back that surprises everybody. And no, I'm not talking about Najee Harris because he's a Steeler. I'm just thinking it's going to be something like that. And if we do see anybody come out of this, it's going to be a couple, 2 or 3 years down the road to where a quarterback matures enough to where they're actually pretty good.
Actually, I think a wide receiver is going to do it. I think that kid from the Eagles picked up. I think he's going to do pretty good. That Devontae Smith. I like him. Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo. He was a Patriot. I just think as long as Mac Jones has Belichick still there, I ain't going to count him out. Fields, he's behind Andy Dalton and Nick Foles. Trey Lance is behind Garoppolo. Wilson, he's going to get thrown out to the wolves with the Jets. I mean, that poor guy.
Oh,
Trevor
yeah,
Lawrence, the same way, but at least my team's actually getting some pieces in place for him. Mac Jones, he's the backup to Cam Newton, but I think he might do good. Cam's only on a 1-year deal.
Well, I still get a kick out of people buying Sam Darnold stuff right now. That's a big risk. Big
Well,
risk. If
now,
you got the money, I mean, to spend a couple grand to really throw around, I don't think I'd throw it on Sam Darnold. I mean, maybe they'll do well with it. I don't know. A lot of people like vintage. I mean, it's safe. It's always going to be safe.
Luck's not coming back. Andrew Luck's not coming back. No, no. He's smart. He walked away, took his money and walked away. Guy kept getting hurt.
Hey, I still think that you got to start looking at concussions. All right, it's knocked a lot of good people out. Mahomes has had plenty of concussions so far. Can you see in the next 2 years if he takes a couple more big hits to his head to where he knock him out 6, 7 games? Him say, you know what, I made my money. I'm done. I'm not. My health's more important. You see how many people be upset then?
Hey, look at Tannehill. He reinvented his career.
Herbert's got a big test this year with being a sophomore class. I think his first couple of games he'll be fine. I mean, if you really look, he played pretty good against the Chiefs. They went 1-1 against the Chiefs, and the one game he lost was by like a touchdown or something. It wasn't by much. I
And they got a
think.
favorable schedule this year.
Well, they have an issue at tight end. I think it's going to be a lot more on his line to keep him going this year. We'll see. I mean, he's got an arm. I liked him to begin with. To me, I think he was a more accurate passer out of the batch. Um, this year, if I had to pick, I think Lawrence had good receivers where he was at, which is a big help playing in college. I think Zach Wilson is by far probably the most accurate out of the bunch. I think Fields is overhyped. I would probably, if I had to settle, oh, I would probably go Trey Lance if I had to pick one. And the only reason I'm thinking him, he might do a lot better with under mentorship under Jimmy G than Mac Jones would underneath um, Cam Newton. Because here's the thing: we already know Brady can go and do it without Belichick. Belichick hasn't proved he can do it without Brady.
True.
Yeah, I see Mahomes owns the baseball team or part owner of the team. That's why I said he gets too many more hits to the head. He's good. He made his money. And plus that insurance kicks in. Good. He's good. Plus all those endorsement deals he has. Come on.
Larry Fitzgerald's sound investment. It's hard to invest in receivers. Fitzgerald is a Hall of Famer, absolutely. But I mean, you got to think wide receiver market when you're thinking Jerry Rice, Randy Moss. Um, I can't really think of another receiver really that I'm clamoring to go buy anything for.
Jerry Rice, Randy Moss. I just lost the other two. Terrell Owens was really good. And I'm trying to think guys that went to multiple teams and did it, just not stayed at one. Those three stick out the biggest because Rice went from San Francisco to the Raiders. You had Owens.
Owens went to he went to the Eagles, he went to the Cowboys, he went to the Bengals, he went
Yeah,
to the
because Moss went up to New England and
yep.
he excelled under Brady because every week it was an Owens and Moss show. And that's why I
Yep.
said it's really hard because you don't really see. I mean, a lot of players, yeah, they're good. They're good receivers, but to be all elite, oh, I don't even know who I would even say is still in the league that I would even start considering all elite across the board. I would have said Hopkins, but when he
Yeah.
went to Arizona, he just was not the same.
I'll
And I
say
hear
Devontae Adams. Um,
we'll find out this year.
Devontae Adams is the one so he's still young. He's been playing with Rodgers. Even when he leaves the Packers, he's already said he wants to go to the Raiders to go with Derek Carr because they were old teammates. And Derek Carr, he's a middle of the road quarterback. He ain't the greatest, but he ain't the worst.
Arnie, I'm thinking about doing a fantasy football for the channel. I'm thinking about doing 12 people, 12 teams. I'm thinking about this year. I do it though. I've been in two for I don't know what it is, 20 some years now.
I do like DK Metcalf. I just don't know how much his body's going to hold up. That guy's an animal. He is a specimen, but there's something about him that I'm just like he's going to get hurt, and it's going to hurt real bad.
See, DK Metcalf only is a couple years in. To consider all elite, you got to look at something 7, 8 years down the road when they hit their prime, how they're still doing.
I mean, elite. Julio Jones was elite. Hopkins,
I put Julio in there for some reason. I just don't see him being all elite receiver.
I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, he was still putting up numbers and producing with Tom Savage as his quarterback. He was still doing what he's doing, but with the Cardinals, the problem is he's not the one focal point. He is the best receiver on that team, but you got Kirk, you have Fitzgerald, you have Kyler Murray, who's a different quarterback than what do you call Watson was.
I don't really look at receiving yards overall. I look at who's going to be the guy I want to put the ball into the hand and make that final drive. It's going to be a playmaker across the board. At one time, I would have argued Antonio Brown was going to be elite, and then he just ruined himself. Antonio Brown, for his size and being a number one receiver, I mean, if he would have did what he did and all that stuff went on, I mean, he went to Tampa. I mean, he seemed happy down there. He still pulled off some great catches and stuff. But that guy there, he had something special going. But, you know, he let stuff get to him and got some charges. And next thing you know, he ends up getting kicked from a few teams and lands up with Tom Brady.
Yeah, AJ Green, he's now in Arizona. But AJ Green, he's still a good player, but he's an afterthought. But you got AJ Green, Hopkins, Kirk, and then they got Isabella. They're stacked at receivers in Arizona. It's just if Kyler Murray can be a little bit more accurate, not try and run the ball so much.
Oh, Arnie, I open this up to anybody that wants to come in on overtime nights. If somebody wants to pop in, they just got to let me know, and I'll send them the email invite. They can come in here anytime. But yeah, with the fantasy football, if that's what you mean there, it would be something similar to that, to where we'll do it through like Yahoo or ESPN, and everybody.
ESPN. Don't do Yahoo.
It could be one of the two. It don't matter. But either way, everybody would be linked in with a time plan. We'd do it on Zoom, but you would still be picking your own stuff live. You can talk trash, drink beer, eat pizza. It don't matter to me.
Edelman's not a Hall of Famer. No.
During the pandemic, that's part of why there's a 10,000 exclusive club. I'm telling you, tomorrow or Sunday, there's a video that I'm doing. It's going to bring a lot. It's going to show you some of the big cards that have been graded. I shouldn't say big, like the most graded cards that are going through, from like Shaq rookies to Jordans and stuff like that. It'll start bringing a little bit of stuff to life. A lot of people just like to throw some stats out there, numbers wise, but what I found was really interesting when it breaks it down with some of this stuff, like the 89 Griffey, how many's been graded, how many tens. It talks about how many basketball cards were sent in, like 1819 and 1920. Big, huge piles of stuff got sent in.
Was Luca on that list? No.
Hold on. Yeah, he was 18 Prism Luca,
Oh yeah,
17,275 base
the
Prism
base
rookie
prism.
cards 10.
Yep.
Acuna, Zion, Soto, Luca, Morant, Tatis, Alonso, the Griffey, tops traded, Lux, Woods rookie, and then the 2019 Prism LeBron will be a part of it here next month for sure. Oh, there's a lot of people that you sit there and think about that you just look at the prices of the cards, you can't figure out why.
Calvin Johnson Megatron. Yeah, he was one of the but he ended his career short. He is another Barry Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
The Barry Sanders stuff is still desirable. Everyone still loves Barry, but Calvin Johnson, he doesn't get the hobby love like he should. Because his career was short. But yeah, Megatron was an animal.
Did you all see where I want to say I can't remember who opened it. It was an older, like Upper Deck had some kind of box or something or case. They had somebody open up, and they end up pulling like the 101 Peterson auto out of it. This is recent, within the last like 2 weeks, and I can't remember who Upper Deck had opened it, but now since like those cards were never put out in production, I guess Upper Deck's giving them away with their monthly drawing of expired redemptions. I'm trying to remember the whole story behind it. It was really interesting. I can't remember if it was like, man, who opened it for them? It's not hitting me now. They gave it to somebody who had like a popular following to open up. It wasn't like GTS or somebody opened it up, but they opened this case up, and inside of it was a 101 Peterson amongst like a bunch of other real good cards. I just remember the 101 Peterson because I was shocked. And they were like, and Upper Deck made an announcement about it saying they were going to just do it with their regular giveaways on expired redemptions. Oh, Brady might be a cheater, but he's gotten away with it.
Don Hudson. That doesn't sound familiar.
I have no idea. I kept on thinking of Don Knotts every time I seen it. I don't know why. Probably Scooby Doo.
You couldn't watch that as a kid, remember?
Hey, he just hasn't made a ton of money. He ended up marrying a supermodel too. And I think she makes more than him or something they were talking about.
The car market, the ripple effect after National.
I think we're going to see the ripple effect's going to be this. People are going to spend a lot of money to National. They probably won't spend a lot for a couple weeks after because you got Topps Chrome coming out. NT basketball comes out before then. I think it'll be a little bit of a week or two to where we don't see a whole lot bought. But as the new products start coming out, and then a lot of these other shows start popping off, people are going to be like, oh man, I missed on this, and this is the National, and these guys all got it, don't want it. I think we'll have somewhat of a ripple effect for about a week or two where things are kind of stale in a way. Minus like Topps Chrome coming out for baseball. But if you really look at Topps Chrome this year, the rookie class from Series 1 and 2 just hasn't really panned out.
Rick, we're not newbies. We're old guys, but Don Hudson just doesn't ring a bell for me right now.
Yeah, I can't even think who it is.
Oh yeah, Giselle makes more money than Brady. Brady makes more money in endorsements than he does playing football. A lot of these players make more money off endorsements than football.
The only reason whenever you said who was it, Don Hudson?
Yeah.
Wasn't he a coach? I don't know. I'm thinking he might have been a coach. That's the only thing I'm starting to think of. The name just it's one of the names that stick with you, but it just doesn't like ring a bell right off the bat.
Was Hudson what? And he was a receiver, but I can't remember what team he was. Was he a Packer? I'm thinking he was a Pack, Green Bay Packer. Steve Largent. Giselle PSA 10 sell for eBay right now. He was a Packer. Okay. But that just makes my point. Receivers get no love in the hobby. Receivers get no love in the Hall of Fame too. You know how long it takes a wide receiver to get in the Hall of Fame unless you're like I mean, Calvin Johnson got in first try. A lot of these guys, it took Art Monk forever to get in. Took Tim Brown to get in. I think how many years did it take Tim Brown to get in? It took a long time for him to get in.
I'm now looking up Don Hudson because now I'm really curious. Yeah, Packers. And he was an assistant coach. See, that's where I'm starting to think about it at. Oh, yeah. Charlie Jordan. I wonder if he's related to Wally.
Charlie, he's the old Chargers receiver.
Is he related to Wally?
The old powder blues.
Is he related to Wally?
No.
No.
No. Way off.
What are you doing, Pug? What do you want?
Oh, Troy, I love receivers. Trust me. I love wide receivers, but just in the hobby in general and in I mean, they just don't get the oh God.
She's like, I gotta go. What are you guys doing? Hello. He's holding me. I don't like this. Let me go. She jumped on me.
I think you freaked us out more than she was.
She saw herself on the screen in front of her. Is like, what are you doing?
Yeah, her eyes got that big. They're usually this big. They got this big.
Well, she's over here messing with me, and I'm like, what do you want? And she jumped up partway, so I grabbed her and I flipped her around.
Mark Duper and Mark Clayton. That the only reason why they got famous because of Dan Marino. That's for sure.
What do you need outside? Okay, I'm gonna take her out real quick. Be right back. Come on. Come on.
Dan Fouts and Kellen Winslow. Huh? Too bad Kellen Winslow's son didn't turn out as well. No, vintage, yeah, I agree. Vintage wasn't mass produced. Sterling Sharp. Oh God, I remember him. Who was the other receiver everybody was wanting at that time? Mervin Fernandez, I think, for the Rams. Yeah, any question with hockey, it's Gretzky. Baseball stats are read off by any fan. Any other sport we don't know the leaders? I know a lot of baseball stats. Oh, now you're talking about Mark Kamara. No, come on. Michael Irvin? Yeah. Donald Driver. Don't. You're missing Antonio Freeman, by the way, Charles.
Man, she's a weirdo going outside. Run around like 36 circles.
Give her a peanut butter stick. She'll be fine.
No, because she's done here now. I don't have anything down here. You're done. You're cut off. I didn't collect vintage football. I was a vintage baseball guy. Holy emails. All right, let me flip this back over. Here we go. Wait, there it is. Yeah, I was real big into baseball. That's where I started when I was a kid because of getting my uncle and dad's cards. That's how I started learning it all. They only did baseball.
Someone said Colt receivers with Peyton. Okay. We all know the two major receivers that he had. Who was the third one with the Colts?
Marvin Harrison, first one comes to my mind. Reggie Wayne's number 2.
Who's the third? The long lost forgotten guy in that little roster. Not Dallas Clark, the tight end, even though he would be third.
I wasn't going to count tight ends. You said wide receiver.
The third one.
Oh, well, you had James as running back.
Yep. And a die.
Yeah, he wasn't that great. He had a little bit of a spur on to it.
Nope, not Stokely. Stokely was on the Broncos. I said Colts. PSA won't buy SGC.
No, that's just people putting stuff out there. There's no way. They'd have no point in buying it.
That's Raymond Berry. Wrong era. Henry Ellard, wrong. All right, nobody got it. Anthony Gonzalez. Austin Collie, he was there, but I think Anthony Gonzalez was the better receiver out of them.
I was going to guess Dallas. Well, no, Dallas Clark was tight end.
Tight end. Yep, he was a tight end.
Pollard was a. Pollard was tight end.
Mm-hmm. Nah, it was Anthony Gonzalez.
The whole thing, was it any receiver or was it like rookie guys that were drafted there? What was the whole topic onto it?
No, so it's the Colt receivers with Peyton Manning. They became great because I said Mark Duper and Mark Clayton became great because of Marino, but Anthony Gonzalez was the third receiver in that core with Peyton Manning during his heyday with the Colts. A long forgotten guy. Pierre Garcon, Pierre Garcon was later on. Yep.
How long was Stokely there for?
Stokely was the Broncos.
No, Stokely played for the Colts.
I thought Stokely played for the Broncos. He was with the Broncos along with Demarius Thomas and Wes Welker.
Brandon, I'm almost positive he played there. Brandon Stokely, here we go. Hopefully it's the right dude. Yeah, he played for Indianapolis 2003 through 6. Then he went to Denver for 3 years. Yeah, he started off with Baltimore.
Yep, yep. Possibly, Troy. I just know Stokely kept getting hurt. He kept getting concussions like crazy. Austin Collie the same way. I remember those two guys, they would get lit up because they were the slot receivers and they would get lit up.
Not always about vintage either. A lot of times you got to know your stuff about the new market too. I'm just reading through what I missed.
Without this player, the MLB All Star game would have not been created. Oh, wow. Hmm. I'm trying to think who.
I'm catching up. Hold on. I'm still up above here. I'm getting
No,
down.
I'm trying to think of the
What's the
MLB
what
All
are
Star.
you thinking about?
Without this player, the MLB All Star game would not have been created. Go.
I'm going back in time here.
Me too. I'm just trying to think on that one. No, we said Reggie Wayne.
Depends on who the person is, Rick.
Are
Some
you
people
talking about?
like new
Go
stuff,
ahead.
some people like vintage. You got to look at it this way. Collectors are going to collect what they want. You just can't be in one side of the market on that stuff, to be honest. I mean, I could sit there and talk vintage for a long time, but I'm not going to sit there and know who all played on the 1953 New York Yankees team because I didn't follow it. I wasn't alive during that time frame. Just like I couldn't tell you right now who plays on the whole team of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I grew up there. It's just I just don't have the time and the knowledge to sit there and research all that stuff every single day, to be honest. I'm still trying to think on the All Star game.
Clemente.
Mm-mm. You got to have newbies, Rick, in order for the card market to succeed later in life. If everybody was out there was just about vintage, you would not have a market today and you wouldn't have collectors. They got to have new hype and everything else along the way.
Ray Chapman, shortstop for the Indians. Huh.
I would have never guessed that offhand. I'm trying to see what your point is there, Rick, because I got you, you're big in vintage and stuff like that there, and a lot of people like vintage. But if you're trying to, get me in a rouse tonight on that stuff, it just won't happen at all because just because not everybody knows everything about every sports team and sports person out there, does it make them a bad person? You call me a newbie? I mean, I'm trying to see where you're going at.
Well, not just that. We're talking about the hobby as of today in general. We didn't take vintage in the accountability right now on anything. I mean, if you want to do a dedicated version or a dedicated show of vintage, I'm sure we could later on in the future. But we're kind of just talking about the stuff within the last 2 weeks from the last time we've been on.
Well, here's the thing is what's considered vintage 25 years and older? Where's 25 years go?
90s.
There you go. That's a sad part. See, most people think vintage is like the 60s and 50s, and it's not anymore. And the
No.
way you have to look at that, look at what they consider a classic vintage car. They go by how many years old it is to be considered vintage, which some people agree, some people disagree offhand. Yeah, and that's the thing is you have to when you grow up into the sport into cards, you're about the active players. You don't really learn about the past unless somebody takes the time and opportunity to teach you that and you do it on your own. Like I wasn't alive when Clemente was around, but I'm a huge collector of him. I'd never seen Clemente play in a game. I knew the history because I grew up in Pittsburgh and everything that went around with it. And that's how I became into it.
It's the same thing with Mantle, Mays, DiMaggio. You know, even Nolan Ryan. We weren't alive when Nolan Ryan pitched his first game.
Rick, it's going to depend who you ask. Vintage is actually in the 80s now, way past 1980. It's all going to depend on who you ask and who you talk to.
For instance, I'm 41 years old. When I grew up as a kid, it was all about Joe Montana, King Griffey Jr., Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. I didn't get all the older ones until I didn't learn about the older players until I got older and learned more history on them. But I never went back and collected those. When I was a kid, I collected what was then and on. Do I have a bunch of vintage autos? I do. I have a Ryan Auto rookie. I have a bunch of vintage stuff. But it's not something I'm mainly focusing on. Some people, some people like you, like Rick, he wants to focus mainly on vintage. That's fine. Not everyone does.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it's the person, it's a collector and a hobby. You can't just sit there and pick on somebody because they're a newbie in the market. I mean, that's what they like doing. That's what they started as a hobby. I don't get where that's at behind that. And do I own Clemente cards? I've said for a long time I'm a Clemente collector, so I probably own a good bit of Clemente cards.
I may be wet behind the ears when it comes to vintage. That's fine. You can say that all you want.
Well, you know what, Rick? if you're going to sit there and troll tonight, you're gone. I just don't have time for it. You're ruining a channel because your beliefs onto it. If you can't respect other people's opinions, it's time for you to go. Sorry. Sorry about that, everybody. I try to give everybody a chance onto it, but when you start running like that there and making and picking fights with everybody in the chat to include the people that are hosting, there's just no time for that at all. That's just rude and being ignorant and arrogant across the whole thing. Because if somebody doesn't collect 1948 stuff or 1963, that's just wrong.
Well, it's not just that. It's just we want you guys to come in here and talk about what you want to talk about, and we want to respect everyone's decisions on what they want to collect or what they want to talk about. This is an open forum for us to talk about anything and everything. But we're not going to slam shit into your head like this. Do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know this? Do you know this? How about you? Do you know this? No, we're not going to do that. We want to respect everyone's thoughts and their own opinions on here. That's fine. Not everyone's ever going to see eye to eye on stuff. Not everyone's going to be perfect. It's just the way it goes.
I mean, when you sit there and ask, I could sit there and pick out a player that played in the 1950s that nobody's ever heard of because he played 2 seasons with a team. Nobody needs to hear that stuff. And I mean, like I said, I try to give everybody an extent because I know people get upset because of pricing and everything else that goes on out there. It's great to get rid of your frustrations because you're upset with pricing and stuff like that there. But to be mad at people that are new to the hobby because they're new, that's the thing. They might not know all the information you do. It's about sharing and explaining and being able to show people how to better themselves in the hobby. That exactly. It was childish. It really was, to a point to where I was like, we don't have to have this in the chat. You're gone, dude. Sorry, you won't ever be back. I mean, I got it, but yeah, that's just bad. I'm just reading through. You want the hobby to grow, and if you have kids or grandkids out there, you should be teaching them, if they're interested in cars, into that stuff, because how many people get to hold in, a 40s card or a 50s card in their hand, or a tobacco card, whatever it could be out there. It's hard.
You got to remember the new stuff that comes out. Eventually, it will be vintage.
It will.
Time goes on.
And that's the thing. It's really hard because somebody brought it up in a post that was probably a year or two ago. And it really didn't dawn on me because they were like, when do we start considering vintage? And I'm like, well, that's a good thing, because if you go off a PSA standard, okay, ultra modern's the last 3 current years. Okay. Modern goes back to a certain amount, and then they call vintage this and that. And the conversation that went on was somebody brought up about the car thing. When you have a classic and it's considered a vintage car, I think it was 25 years, if I recall right. And that's when somebody dawned off, I think it was last year, because somebody said, well, if that's the case, we're then calling 1995 tops vintage. And somebody said, well, I think it should go back to, somewhere in the middle 80s, because we've grasped past it. Because when we were kids, what we considered vintage, I'm just saying, if you're in the 40s, if you're in a 40-year-old bracket somewhere in there, you're probably thinking 70s and 60s were vintage. Well, now you have a kid who comes out, say he's 17 to 21 years old. He was born in the 2000s, He's probably thinking 80s is vintage to him.
Oh,
what do you guys think offhand?
I showed my son an 84 Topps the other day. He goes, oh my God, how old is that car? That car is so old. I was like, that's 1984. Then I thought to myself, holy shit, that is kind of old, considered now vintage. It's basically like, I think, what was the threshold? 83 or 84 Topps, or no? I think it was 86 Topps is now considered vintage or something like that. That's the threshold or something like that. I mean, Just like when you listen to like classic rock on your radio. Do you know Nirvana is now considered classic rock? Do you know now Soundgarden and Pearl Jam are now considered classic rock? I mean, hell, older we get, things get older. That's how it is. I mean, hell.
Read Steve's comment there. I just felt really old now by reading that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the truth. You really do, because you sit there and you're like, man, that just seems like yesterday. It really does. I could sit there and I mean, I would have conversations with people like when I lived in Hawaii and then other places like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was 20 some years ago. Or like a guy just told me like when I was in Georgia, I sold him some Brady rookie cards. And I remember doing it because he was a big Brady fan. And I sold him some upper decks and I think Flair Ultras and stuff. He's like, man, I got those things great. You know what they're worth now? And I'm like, dude, that was like in 2007. I sold you that. And I'm like, that's 14 years ago. I'm like, holy cow. And just by him telling me the story, I really thought it was just like 5 or 6 years ago. As you get older, time really does fly.
Exactly, Steve, right there. In other words, it's worse than you thought. When you get older, it is. I mean, I could pull a, let me see if I have something vintage. Almost, if someone wants to consider, oh yeah, see, here we go. That's now considered vintage.
Hey, yeah, this is vintage. I've had this hat here probably for freaking 15 years. No lie. I throw it through the wash after I go up in here and I smell. You guys see, I got some long hair. It's called my COVID hair. I gotta get it cut before I go back to work, though, probably. But yeah, I mean, if you really start thinking about it, wow, some of the stuff that people now younger in the hobby, 18 to 21 years old, what they consider vintage, we consider like we still think in our heads it's recent product, and it's really not. Think about cheater rookies and stuff like that.
They consider this vintage. We consider it junk wax. We
Yeah,
lived in the era when it was junk wax, but then to them it's vintage. It's old. I get it. It is old, but to us, I'm looking at that 90 Flair Thomas. I'm like, that's just junk wax. That was. I mean, that's kind of how I feel cars are now. We're kind of living in a new junk wax. Overproduction, tons of different products. Only difference is we have autos and numbered cards.
You want to come back up here? Then you better behave. She wants to jump up here and look now because she's all curious. Let me see. You guys make me feel old. Well, here's something that will make you even feel older. Do y'all remember going on QVC and stuff? And you had the guy who used to sell all the baseball cards. He used to come on late at night. He'd be like, "You get all these great cards for 3 monthly or 6 monthly payments at $99.95." And if you recall, he had all those vintage cards that were like graded by companies you never heard of, encapsulated the time frame before PSA, before Beckett came out. And you're just like, wow, there's like a Nolan Ryan rookie, and there's Jose Canseco's Don Russ rookie up there.
Yeah. I remember those. I remember them having the 23 karat gold cards, and oh, you can only get these special with us tonight. I remember all those. I was like,
Don West, that's it. I was trying to think of the name, and I kept on. The Don thing has been in my head all night of Don Knotts, and I'm like, I could not think of it.
Catalog. Oh, geez, Charles. Yeah. I remember my grandma every year getting the Sears catalog and me looking like, what sets are in here? What sets are in here? Yep. That's actually funny because my first set of cards was the 87 Topps football Sears catalog.
Are you serious? Kenny Goldin was the guy who called up on the phone to hype those sales?
Oh, that's funny.
Because Goldin, he ain't much older than me, I don't think. I gotta go want me to Google Kenny Goldin to find his age. Because now I'm gonna probably feel really ancient. Hold on, there was another one I heard. What year do I think junk wax started? 1986. I'm gonna go 1986. Because I can
Uh,
remember in 84 and 85 not finding a whole lot of product in the grocery stores and like KB Toy Store and Children's Palace. And I can remember in 86 going in, I'd always see those rack packs of 86 tops everywhere. Everywhere.
I'm still thinking 87 because 80 I'm thinking 88 was when it started because the Fleer, Score, Donruss, Tops. You know how much Tops 88 there was?
Yeah, but see, you're throwing 88 in there because Score came out. I'm thinking 87 tops was hugely overproduced, and so was 86. Donruss and Fleer were produced at a high rate too, because Donruss also had Leaf. And oh man, I'm trying to think. 85, I just don't remember seeing a whole lot of wax of 85 and 84 out there. 89 was horrible too with wax everywhere. And
Oh God, 88 to me is when it started because I remember going and I could see Tops as far as the eye can see. I can see Donruss as far as the eye can see. Fleer, Sport Flicks. I mean, it was everywhere. Yeah, Kmart cards, KB toys, um, Post cereal cards, classic. I mean, I just remember 88 just bombarded me.
now I'm actually looking to see if I could find it. Oh wait, Kenny Goldin, 67 years old? That can't be right.
Kenny Golden old scorecard. Ooh, that's not good.
No, Kenny Goldin, the guy that owns Golden Auctions.
He says Ken Golden owned scoreboard company.
Oops, I misspelled the last name. That's why I probably got the wrong person up here. 48. 48. I knew he wasn't much older. Oh, wait, there's two of them. Uh-oh. I think he's the one that's 48 and not the 55. But, huh, that's interesting to know because that would be about right then if he would have been calling up there. Oh, man, I'm going to have to start looking for YouTube videos, the QVC. That stuff there is just Steve's right, just straight classic because you just listen to like the hype that they put into that. You wanted to buy that stuff. And I remember one year my dad for Christmas went on there and it
Later,
was
Dale.
if you bought like one of them, you got like a second lot for free, right? And it was supposed to be all the cards were like from like 1960 to like probably like 1988, 89 onto it. And I was so psyched because I ended up getting like Sandberg rookies in it, Wade Boggs. Oh gosh, I remember it was an encapsulated Robin Yount rookie card that was in there.
I know 89 was bad because that was the return of Bowman. Those
Later,
oddball
Dale.
oddball size cards. Fleer was everywhere. Donruss was everywhere. I mean,
That's right. Jimmy Dean Sausage actually had cards too. I forgot about that. Do you
the
remember the
beef.
ones that used to come in a loaf of bread?
Do you remember the ones that came in the beef jerky, the cans?
Yeah, the circle ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep, I
Yep.
remember those.
The cereal cards, the postcards. I mean, does anybody remember the 1990 or I mean, it was either 90 or 91 Pepsi Canseco Henderson cards.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, Pepsi. I think I have one actually. Look, I do collect Ricky Henderson as well. So
You were right. Yeah, Canseco was big from what was about 88 through 92 or so, or 91. He was hot.
Oh, he
That
was the
might be
biggest player in the world. Yeah. You don't remember these cards?
Wonder Bread cards. Those are it there, Can of Mackerel. Wonder Bread cards.
You don't remember these Pepsi cards?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, these were in 12 packs of Pepsis. Ricky Henderson. Yep. Even Pepsi had cards. This was the year that he had the he broke the record for the stolen bases. That's why it was in there with those. Yep. I mean, I got all my Ricky Hendersons out right now. Don Russ like crazy. Bowman.
Hostess. Remember the Hostess ones?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I still remember when Kmart had their own brand of cards that were out. KB Toy Store. It was some crazy stuff back then.
You got the starting lineups.
Long John Silver's. I don't remember buying a kids meal getting a pack
Oh,
of
I
cards.
do remember Long John Silver's. Damn, I'm old.
I don't know. I remember McDonald's whenever they were doing Play-Doh in their Happy Meals. Everybody wanted to get Play-Doh. I'm like, you could just go to the store and buy Play-Doh cheaper.
The dog food, the Purina. You got these in bags of freaking dog food. That just goes to show how much junk was back then.
Oh, so he is 55. Okay. I was trying to think of his age on to it for a while there, Arnie, because I thought I looked up real quick online. And I thought somebody was 48, and I figured that was him because it was talking about Babe Ruth stuff and Mantle and everything else. But I don't know when that article was put out either, too. I probably should have clicked on it. Let me just see here. Oh, yeah, that was like 7, 8 years ago. So, yeah, 55.
Oh,
Huh.
you're talking about the Kmart. Yeah, they were everywhere, everywhere. KB Toys, Kmart's, everywhere.
Oh, wow, the Denny's Grand Slam. I remember that.
I have them. I have some of those still.
I never knew. Wait, was Kenny Goldin part of that autograph? I don't want to say scam years ago from way back then or not. You guys will probably know what I'm talking about.
If he owned Scoreboard, Scoreboard had a lot of fakes.
It might have
seals, the seals on the bottom. Because I remember a lot of those Kobe rookies, a lot of those Tim Duncans, a lot of those.
Yep, that's it. Then that's the one I'm thinking of because I was just
Scoreboard.
It dealt with a lot of basketball autos like Kobe and
Duncan.
Well, I wasn't thinking of Duncan. It was Kobe and somebody else from back then.
Yep.
No,
that was Scoreboard.
It might have been Iverson or somebody too. Yeah, there was a bunch of them. So yeah, he was involved in all that, huh? Huh. Makes you wonder now.
Someone said he owned Scoreboard.
I didn't know that, huh?
If he owns Scoreboard, that's very interesting.
Ah, he had exclusive autograph session with DiMaggio and Mantle. Okay, so see, that's what I'm starting to picture it all together. So it does make sense then. Okay.
Oh, so he started Scoreboard with his dad.
But yeah, Scoreboard went around for a while though with the autographs, right? And that's where people started getting all those fake Kobe autos and everything. And I don't know, I remember some stories about it. I never bought into it. Like I bought a Dream Team basketball, and this was like in 2000, 2001 when I went up to get to my cards grade when PSA was just really starting to get a name for themselves. And for an authenticated PSA basketball back then, the Dream Team, the original one, Jordan, Bird, and all that's onto it, I paid $750. That's a lot of money back then for a freaking basketball, I'll tell you. But like I said, I was a huge Jordan collector, and I just thought it was the greatest thing around. But I can recall during that time frame, people were talking with all these fake autographs going around that everybody was making these authenticity letters up and all this. It was their own people that were getting the autographs and doing the autographs. So the idea behind it was with PSA DNA was they were certifying the autographs back. And I know a lot of people don't like Beckett, but oh, what the heck is that dude's name from Beckett? Who's the Steve Grad?
Grad, yeah, Stephen Grad.
Okay. That guy there, I'm gonna tell you what, if I had to have something authenticated, I probably would want him. He puts some time and effort and energy into knowing exactly where the pen mark lifts up at in this part of the letter and all that. That's some crazy stuff. Well, that's the thing is, okay, so Shan, with the auto pen, they were catching, so like with presidential autographs, Stephen Grad started finding this stuff with the auto pens that during certain presidency times, they would have their secretaries use this auto pen thing and stuff to sign their names onto all these documents. Well, people were thinking that was really that person's autograph on there, and they didn't realize that the presidents had, like, I don't know if it was auto pen, but a lot of them had their secretaries doing their autographs and stuff like that. And I'll tell you what, he did an interview, and this was a few years ago. I want to say like 2015, 16 on to it. And it was really interesting to hear when he was talking about all that stuff. Oh, a lot of people do.
I think the other guy you're thinking was Tracy McGrady. I think McGrady had a bunch of forgeries too from Scoreboard. McGrady, Duncan, Iverson, Bryant.
Shaq too.
No, not with Scoreboard. Shaq had his classic rookies from the classic four sport and classic stuff.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, Shaq was a couple years before Kobe.
Well, I know he was
had classic.
Kobe, but
he had classic.
I thought he had autographs in something with that too. I'll have to think about it here.
I know he had classic autographs because they
All
were
right,
like
Charles.
they were hand numbered. Later, Charles.
Well, that was the thing with behind it was that they were talking about, like, everybody was getting these autographs, making their own certificates up, and it was really hard to tell. Like, I was not a big autograph person back then at all. I wasn't. And so the story is, it wasn't called the National I went to. I went to this expo, and I want to say it was in 2000. And we went up there, me and my buddy, and they were talking about these grading companies. Well, I wanted to get some older cards, put in some slabs for protection. I didn't really care about the grading thing. And we walked around. I sold a few cards, had some cash on me, and that's when I found out that, about the basketball thing. And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, they're authenticated by PSA DNA, blah 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 blah, and all this stuff." And that's when I went over when I was getting my stuff. The guy took some time, talked to me. And I was like, I like this idea that you guys didn't get this item autograph, but you're authenticating the autograph that somebody got. And it was I kind of got bought onto it then. Classic Scoreboard.
Huh? I have a lot of autographs that I've gotten certified raw from Beckett and PSA. So,
and the reason why I was thinking that, remember Classic 4 Sports when it came out, they had the Shaq auto onto it. Somebody was saying back then that not all of those were signed by Shaq that were hand numbered. That's why I was sitting there thinking it was part of that. But I'm glad somebody said that in the chat because I could not think about it. I have to go back in time, and sometimes I just don't remember. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's crazy with the Babe Ruth thing.
Grad went from PSA to Beckett probably because Beckett paid him a lot more, probably.
Yeah, I could see that.
At that time, Beckett was bigger than PSA, so of course Beckett's going to have more money than PSA. Now it's kind of flip flopped in a way. PSA's got way more money involved than Beckett does.
Oh, Grad's been on Beckett for a while, a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say Grad's been there for at least 10 years, if not maybe 15.
Yeah.
Grad was there, I want to say in PSA when the whole thing started launching. And when somebody offers you more money, hey, and you're good at what you do, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thanks, DJ. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Have a good night, DJ.
I'll be honest. The Cohen, that, and Goldin thing really has me with mixed feelings. There we go. Feelings on the whole thing. The more and more that I keep seeing, not what I read and what I hear, but what I could actually see coming out. And what I saw Kenny Goldin put in the blowout forum really started making me think, because they're wording things as is PSA doesn't mess with Goldin auctions. We operate independently, which is a complete true statement. They do operate independently, but you are owned by Collectors Holdings. And you can't tell me that you can't call up your big company and say, hey, I need you guys to do me a favor to get this and this done, or whatever it may be across the board. There is going to be back scratches across the board on it. But from my understanding, I thought originally whenever Goldin Auctions got bought out, Ken was just going to stay on for like a year or two to make sure things run smoothly, and it changed afterwards. So I'm really wondering offhand. Sharon, that was something that was brought up during his rookie year, that his autographs started looking different on Lucas, because at first it was like you could make out different. They went to Lulu. Nobody's been able to point that out, unlike the Dak Prescott auto pen, which is a shame. That's why I won't collect anything from his rookie year. And the sad thing is PSA should have had him redo all those autographs and either compensated people or been like, hey, you mail us your autograph card in, we'll replace it with the new one, whatever it may be.
Well, hey, Willie Mays was having his secretary sign cards for Topps. Trust me, because I bought a Willie Mays auto, certified by Topps, everything. Sent it to PSA. No bueno.
I'd
Talked
have
to my
left
buddy.
it certified by Topps.
Huh?
I'd have left it certified by Topps, because they're supposed to have a representative watch him sign.
Nope.
Yeah, I know.
Secretary signed them because PSA said no, and so did Beckett.
I don't remember CCP. I remember a sports card. What was it called? Sports Card Trader. I remember Tough Stuff. I remember Beckett, and there was another one too. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes onto it all that we'll never know. And I'm still the person that wants to see the actual court docs after this whole trim thing goes down between Probstein, PWCC, Hero Sports Cards, PSA, and all that, because I want to know how in depth that actually went. And they honestly they owe it to the public to show that what really went on. But with the recent thing about sending that Jordan, it's just not sitting right with me. And then that tweet comes out, says that they think that the case could have been tampered. Why not put that out originally instead of hey, we seen it didn't look like a 10, we're sending it back in? It makes me wonder, one, if they're covering up for what was originally said, or if they were trying to hide that to begin with. It could have been a tampered card that they missed. Either way, I mean, if it was a tampered card you missed, hey guys, it made it through our thing. We didn't notice it looks tampered now, so we want to get it checked out. I think I would have been fine with just hearing something like that. I mean, everybody's human. You're going to make mistakes out there.
Yeah, Derby. Nolan Ryan did sign 2,500 cards. You can still get Nolan Ryan's autograph through his foundation for $55 or $60 a card if you wanted the Nolan Ryan autograph.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing, because back then, to get those 2,500 cards signed, it took him something like 3 weeks to do, or something crazy. And he just signed them. All the hand numbering was done by Upper Deck. They actually went around and found people that had neat penmanship to do the hand numbering before they went to remember the old stencil number like thing in the back. You see them like in Donruss Elite and stuff, like where they were like actually punctured into the card. There was a card I looked at, I think it was one of yours, in one of the streams where I flipped it around. And when I was going on top of it, I could see the numbering on the back side from them punching it in so hard into the card. It was crazy.
First graded card. First graded company is the way to go. They grade cards, eyes closed, no hands, a random dice roll.
Hey, and the sad part is the dice only have 3 numbers on 8, 9, 10. So that 6-sided dice, you got a 50, or actually a 33% chance all the way around. I heard actually 4 out of the 6 sides have 10 on it. The other two, has a 9, one has an 8. So
I don't think that's accurate.
what do you mean? No, tell me it's not so. The most part they can do what they want. Yeah, true. True.
Well, that's interesting if Collectors Universe or whatever they call themselves now bought Goldin and all this. It's just I don't know. Something doesn't seem right.
People are starting to say like we heard the SGC being bought by PSA, but nobody's brought up Panini might be getting sold out. Nobody's talked about that. That's one of the biggest rumors on YouTube right now is that Panini's secretly shopping themselves. I don't think Panini is, and if they are, they'd be smart to sell right now because they're at a super high point where they can make billions off of that company. And I'll be honest, they would be stupid not to right now. I mean, they've been around for a little bit.
But who's going to buy them? But who's going to buy them out?
Huh?
Who's going to buy them out?
You never know. All these holding companies coming around, because that's the thing is, if you ever notice now, it's always holding companies that are buying stuff. So it's about 15 to 50 investors that put all their money in this holding company and they go out and buy businesses. They're being successful. But my question is, if they do sell out, how do we know the new ownership's going to, keep up with what was currently going on? Maybe they want to start making print runs double what they are now.
Well,
that.
Since CSG just got bought out by that, what was that, Blackstone company?
It's not CSG. That whole umbrella of companies of like 8 of them got bought out by Blackstone Holdings.
Yep.
So I mean, you're going to see more and more of that because one person physically cannot buy out a company. It's almost like buying a baseball team or a hockey team or a football team. No one person, unless you're like Donald J. Trump, millionaire or billionaire, can probably afford to go out and buy on their own. They have to have a group of people come together because otherwise you got to take loans out and take all this risk. So what's easier? Get about 3 or 4 of your buddies or up to 10, throw money in an account, call it a holdings, and hey, you go buy stuff.
If Panini's thinking about selling, I can see them being in the market for them. So they just bought that. That makes sense for them to try and get that too.
Well, here's the other thing I was talking about years ago. If you had about 5 to 10 people, okay, now you would have to agree on where to live at and location. And then this was back in 2016, 17. If you had about 5 to 10 people that didn't really care what their job was in the company, sports card related, all right, and you opened up a shop, you could have run breaks. You could have your shop going. You could have an online store. You could have been using eBay. You could have controlled a huge allocation of product because back then you had GTS, you had Southern and Peach. And what happened was the companies that were smart on doing this, and I'm going to bring it up, Dave and Adams, because they were breaking and selling the product all at one time frame. Leighton, another one that was doing it all. I mean, that's why their allocations are so huge. Even some of the biggest breakers out there, even say Bowman, I know the answer, but I'm trying to think how I can word it and not get in trouble. Probably one of the biggest breakers I know was allocated 35 cases of Bowman Hobby this year. 35. Now, they were offered a lot more way before that. I mean, they used to beg us to take Bowman. Hey, can you take 5 extra cases of Bowman? We'll give you 2 weeks to, have to get it paid for and out to you and all this crazy stuff. But I can see that if you had about 5-10 people and you had guys rotating being breakers, somebody doing the shop piece, somebody doing the online thing, and then you hired some people you could trust doing sorting and shipping, you could, I shouldn't be saying this because next thing you know, like there's going to be some holdings company come out and doing it. If you could sit there and push liquid 100 cases a week of cards, you could really control a lot of that stuff out there. You really could.
Here's a real far out of left.
You couldn't buy PSA.
Here's a real question far out of left field. Do you think we're ever going to see the day where a certain card company, like say Panini, says, "Oh, you can only grade our cards but through this company"?
No. Now I could see a grading card company saying we will not grade this card, i.e. Star. If you look, Star can only be graded by Beckett because PSA doesn't know how to grade a Star card to tell if it's a fake or not. Oh, now you get your headphones back in.
Yeah.
So I forgot you had headphones in.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say no, but a grading company could say, I will not grade these types of cards. And my example is Star cards can only be graded by Beckett. You don't see them graded by PSA because the knowledge needs to go into it.
That's what I'm saying, because if this company, what if Blackstone does buy, hypothetically, they bought CSG or CGS, whatever it's called, they bought that. What if they do go out and buy Panini and they say, only way you guys can grade Panini cards is if you go through this company?
No, because you can't say, if I'm buying your product, you can't say that. You can't. Now, they could say only CSG is only going to grade Panini products. That is correct. They won't grade Tops or Upper Deck, and they would make a lot of business. But PSA, who has nothing involved in it, can't say we only grade Panini. I'm sorry, Panini can't come out and say that if you buy a product, you can only grade this company. It wouldn't work that way. The other way around, the card grading company could say they would only grade certain cards, though.
I'm just saying. I mean, you just never know. Something could far-fetched. I mean, you just never know. What if Tops ends up saying, "Oh, Tops only, grades exclusively with PSA"? I mean, you already see it in encased with Beckett.
I'll bring a comment. It kind of brings up a point. If they could buy the card business, then they cut out the distributors and that share of the market. Now the distributors have an agreement in place, so they would have to let that expire for one. Now, if Panini and Tops would do what Upper Deck does, and you have to have a brick or mortar, that would kill a lot of breakers. Because you have to show displays, open store, that you cannot just have a website business like you do now. So that would kill it. But you are correct. If they just said there's no more physical cards, we're going to go to blockchain, that would be different. Because originally when Upper Deck did EPAC, okay, I thought we were going to go that route. And I think it was 2015 when they started. It was Doran McDavid's rookie year with Upper Deck. And I was like, wow, so you could just get a virtual card and people are on this stuff. Well, effectively, you could turn around and say, I'm going to spend $1. I want that card now off of being virtual and in my hand and collection. I think that would be kind of interesting if they did blockchain that way, to where you had to buy it virtually. Then if you wanted it physically, you paid, $1 for the card plus shipping, handling, and all of that. But if they went to straight blockchain where everything was virtual, I think they would lose a lot of collectors, because people like to have that piece in their hand or on display in their home or display case.
Well, people like to rip cards. People like to rip boxes.
Start creating NFTs. That'd be awesome. Well, I'm going to start that. Let's start that company up. We'll get everybody together. We'll dump in some money and we'll just start grading NFTs. All we got to do is get a scan of the picture, and we'll just start being like, yeah, it looks like it's pretty centered. throw it up on some like what is that? Photoshop or whatever. We can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sign a
I'm just
grade,
saying.
make it a virtual case. A virtual case onto the card.
Up in the cloud.
Hey, hey, then can you see the blockchain people and Panini like, how did you put that on there? Hey, it's no longer that. It's been graded. Oh my gosh, that
And
would
you
go.
want to see it, you have to get the cloud.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm just saying, the way things are going, you never know. All these companies buying everything, you just don't know.
dang it, where's Eric at tonight? Because I would want to ask you that. Eric, you out there listening to this stuff tonight still? Because would you be able to take a photo picture of it and be able to grade that card, make a virtual case for it? Because we got something cooking here. How many
Well,
people with high end? Wait, well, I just hold on. The chat's starting to go crazy here. The car companies make okay. How many people with end? With high end cards though, I think Theodore it's a toss up between PSA and Beckett because you're going to get your most money out of it, but it goes with the stock of the card. Is the card autograph on card? Because we all know Acuna's Bowman Best, he ran off card and everything, or on sticker to where you get the best grade.
there's a lot of things to think about, man. A lot of things. You just never know what these companies are going to do anymore. If Panini's out shopping themselves, if whoever buys Panini, if you're listening, if they are, drop, stop making so many. Stop making so many. You're making too many. Exactly. Like PS5, people have bots in order to buy cases. I have not seen a PS5 for sale anywhere in my area. And Sony was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna ramp these out. They're gonna be coming out soon." I ain't seen one.
Saw them a couple weeks ago when I went and picked up that camera.
I ain't seen none here.
They've had them
Not
out.
a one.
Well, here's the thing: is everybody says, "Oh, our website's anti-bot." I can tell you, okay.
Mm-mm.
There's where somebody that can make money. They found a way to crack your system with a bot.
I mean, there's nothing surprises me anymore on it. 2 weeks from now, we could hear, "Oh, now they bought SGC," or now Panini and Upper Deck or have a partnership or something. We just never know what's gonna happen. It's weird. It's really weird what they could do anymore.
Oh yeah, for sure. There you could. And I told my distributor I was talking to him the other night. I was telling him, I said, you know what's so sad is before you used to be able to predict what you were going to do yearly. I said, now I can't predict what I'm doing weekly. Things change so much out there weekly with everything going on. That's why I really have no other life than sitting behind a computer after I get out of work looking because my fear is this that I got a lot of money tied up in cards. And that was through over time with PCs and Jordan and Clemente and stuff like that there. My fear is that somehow the hobby all bottoms out completely or something goes on to where prices just drop completely to where I'm like going to see it turn around for 10 or 15 years. And by then I'm going to be too old to enjoy that money. So I'm like, I got to pay attention to it every day. It's like being an addiction in a way.
Well, no, it's an addiction to be ahead of the curve with you.
Yeah, good luck on that one.
You have an addiction of trying to be ahead of the curve. You're trying to see 10 miles ahead of you when you can only see 2 miles. You're looking too far sometimes. Sometimes you got to.
You have to anymore right now. Like I said, when you could plan what your goals were for the year, you were fine. Now I can't even plan on what I'm doing week to week because the
Mm-mm.
next day I know there's information comes out about this or that, or somebody says, "Hey, man, on a down low, I know this for sure for a fact. I got this straight from the source," and I'm like, "You got to be kidding me!" I'm like,
There's a
well,
good
there goes my
question.
freaking weekend now because I was going to do this, this, and this. Now I got to sit there and, scrub cards for this grading company or that grading company. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Now products tripled in price. And I'm like, oh, I'm like, you're coming out with what now? And I'm like, no, I don't want that. Why would I want that? And I hear, oh, because of this, this, and this. And I'm like, I got to do research now. I'm like,
That's
thanks.
that's the $1 billion question right there, Theodore. Where do you see the hobby a year from now, good or bad? Um, I don't see it good. I don't see it bad. I kind of see it where it is right now. I don't see I don't see it going up. I don't see it going down. It all honestly, it all depends on how many players are still involved after the uptick of what we had. Because there's going to be a lot of people getting out of it right now because the prices have fallen. Everything's tied up with PSA, but then the population is going to just kill a bunch of cards that people sent in. Overproduction. I I think it's going to stay where it's at. I think it's going to level out. I don't think it's going to fall, but I see a lot of people getting out of it, especially with products now like your distributor. You're only getting it $20-$30 cheaper than what we're getting it on the market.
Some product I'm still getting at like 70, 80 where I could cut prices on people to help them out from paying stupid, ridiculous prices.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, everything is going up in cards. Nothing's dropping in cards besides selling them.
Here's the way I look at it, good or bad. It depends on your perspective of the hobby. If you're in it as a collector, I think you're going to think it's going to be good in a year because you're going to see a lot of people that were in it for the wrong reasons leave. If you were in it for the wrong reasons, I think you're going to think that it's going to be a bad year because you're going to lose because you followed the wrong advice of the wrong people and lost money. And it's going to leave a sour taste in your mouth to where your kids are going to want to collect one day or grandkids. You're like, oh, that stuff's garbage. It's going to ruin it for their experience too. That's my thought when I think about it because I have to look at it as two different things because one I'm a collector and one I'm a flipper, but I had to separate myself by doing it. So my collection piece, I've seen it. The collection piece, I got to sit there and put it away from what I'm doing in my office. And what I do is I sell to buy stuff in my PC. I'll have to 8 days. I was telling you 3 to 5, 3 to 5. Shh, quit telling everybody. Everybody's gonna want to go back in time with me now. Come on.
If the problem is too many people are chasing the rabbit. Too many people now who are new in the hobby or have just gotten in the last year or two, they're chasing the big cards that everyone talks about. They're chasing the rabbit. They keep chasing. They keep chasing and chasing and chasing. When you need to sit back and look and be like, look, do I need to chase in a Luka Doncic PSA 10 Prism rookie? Do I really need to chase that? No, you don't need to chase it
Now,
because
if you're collecting Luka Doncic and you don't have one and you
then
want
you
one for your collection, I'm fine with that.
but
But you're not
don't chase it. Don't
earlier.
chase it. Yeah, don't chase it just because people are telling you to chase it. Don't chase it. It's because, oh, it's the next big card. People were saying that about Zion. People were saying that about Acuna stuff. People are saying that now about Otani stuff. Don't chase. Don't chase what's like what everyone's chasing right now. Think about other things to chase that haven't done what those cards are doing, or collect what you collect PC wise. You don't have to follow everybody. You don't have to do any of that. Like, I mean, I collect Jim Tomei. No one collects him. Nobody. I don't know anybody who goes, oh, yeah, I do. No, I'm probably the only one. But I'm not out chasing Lucas. I'm not out chasing Zions. I'm not out chasing Acunas. I'm not out chasing Trouts. I get it if you PC, that's fine. but don't chase. When you chase, you're going to lose in the end because you're going to buy them at an impulse buy, and you're going to have regret 2-3 months later down the road when that card starts to go down.
Mm-hmm. You will.
So don't chase.
I hear that all the time. That exact thing. And I before that gets off the screen, and I did. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Go back
What?
up. You know they grade cards in a curve. They do. They all do. If you look, each grading company has different criteria that they're more heavy on. PSA is heavier on corners. SGC, the card being centered, no let little flaws that they know are more predominant, like scratches and Bowman and stuff, go away to where they're like, okay, we'll give it a 9.5 instead of an 8.5 that PSA will give. But there is a curve. There is. Everybody knows it's just trying to be able to say and accept it. And that's why there's a big difference when you look at an SGC 10 versus a PSA 10 versus a Beckett 10 in price, too. Football will save the card market. Oh, man, I hope the rookie card class does well, because if not, that football market will tank this year.
And also, chasing doesn't also necessarily go towards cards. It can go towards wax. Don't go chasing a box of 18-19 Prism because you want to try and hit a Luka out of that or a Trey Young out of that. Don't just go chasing wax to hit something when, in all reality, you save up a little more. You just get the damn thing.
Yeah, that's the thing is there's 10 million cards still need to come back. And, everybody across the board that's sent in is guilty of it for trying to grade everything to make a profit because we all thought we were going to get it back quicker. And too many people made easy money and now they're losing it. So where did I just drop that at? Come here. And that's true because they didn't know what they're doing. They were just following trends, thinking it's with the stock market grass. I don't think, and if somebody else wrote down the comments, and I agree, I don't think you could treat the sports card market, as they call it, as a stock market at all.
No.
I don't. Now, if it was treated as a Topps product or Panini products, maybe. But when you're doing it by player that's active, now you're starting to look at their stats daily and everything else. It's people tried to reinvent the wheel, make it sound good, make it sell good, and people bought into it. I've owned vintage card pricing now for I think 4 or 5 years. And it was just something I used because it was a quick reference tool to say, okay. And it wasn't because of the grass. It was to show me how quick stuff sold. Because it was an easy reference point. I could save my stuff on there. It would say, okay, I go on there and be like one of my folders, be like, all right, I need to look at what all my Clementes are doing right now or whatever. And I could look at it and I knew. It was a cool tool, but people went overboard with the stock market thing. What is it called? Market movers and
market movers and market mover tool. And another thing that me and you, we're guilty of it. We've done it before. We've learned not to do it. Don't chase every break.
Oh, I did that years ago, though, when it was cheaper. I didn't do it now.
No,
back in the day, I will not lie to anybody. In 2015, 16, 17, even 18, I was getting in so many breaks, but it was cheap and affordable, and we were bored. When you're talking about doing, what was it, 13, 14, or 14, 15 Prism cases of basketball by the box and the lowest serial number, won the case, and you were only dumping like $40 into it. It was fun to watch for an hour, and you got to have chatting. Nowadays, you think I'm going to dump $1,500 for a box to do that? Oh,
nope.
No. There's a big difference onto jumping in every break. And if you were doing it recently in the last 2 years, you will get burnt. Back then, you were not really getting burnt because of the price. If you look at what I was making at my job then versus now, if you would take out promotion-wise, I was going to do this in a video kind of. Like back then, if I was making 50,000, say now, if I had stayed in that same job with tenure, no promotion, I'm making 56,000. I sustainably would not have been able to keep up with the momentum I was doing and breaks with the cost of the product now. There's no way. That's why I limit myself completely. I told you this year when Select went retail, I was not getting into it. I would open up my one hobby box. I might get in a break or two just to try to chase a Herbert auto, and that was it. And that's what I did. Did not buy one blaster, mega, whatever else there was out there. I was done. I will stick to products that I could sit there and tell you how many cases they made because they're all serial numbered. Oh, wow. There's a lot of chat.
The hardest part of grading is deciding which company is best for which card. That's the hard part. Okay.
Where's that one at? Oh, that's
that was the very last one. Very last one.
I'm way up higher still collecting.
Yeah, the one by Sandy. So everything is depending on price of the card, on where you should send your card to get graded. PSA's new prices, sure they're going to be more and everything like that. You can't just send a base like here, for instance. I'm not sending this to PSA to get graded. It's not worth it. The score chronicles. No. I mean, yeah, to a rookie, still not doing it. It's a base card. At the prices PSA are charging, it's either going to be serial numbered, auto, low print, variation, or something. Not really big base. Stuff like that probably would go to SGC because they are a little bit lower price. Maybe GMG. Beckett's out of the question because they're about 5 years behind. So it just goes. It all depends.
Gone too. Sorry, I had to delete somebody else out of it.
That's fine. It all depends on the card. Plain and simple. Low numbered autos. If it's a good player, like I don't know. Let's say, for instance, you pull a Prism, a new Prism, Trevor Lawrence, silver auto out of 50 or whatever, a fast, no huddle or something like that. Something like that, I'd send a PSA. It's numbered, low numbered, rookie, and an auto.
You could view the deleted message if you're modded. Every sale made on the stock market is recorded. Yeah, that's the thing with the stock market. It's a lot different than anything else. I mean, I guess he just left. Oh, he's still on here. Must turn his video off real quick. Yeah, I mean, with it, I can't see having sports card market as a viewing as a stock market at all. There's, I guess you could somewhat say shares and stuff, but I was not a fan of whenever they changed out to being, what do you call it? The collectible and stuff where you can buy shares in the cards. That there just really threw a lot of the fun out for me after that because now there's a card out there that's locked up into shares that'll probably never get, turned around later on. I didn't even,
Sorry, I'm back. I'm back. Wife was texting me.
Oh, she's at the casino?
Yeah.
She winning?
Don't know. Been on for 3 hours. Haven't talked to her.
You just said you just were talking to her. I figured she probably called you and said she just hit the big jackpot.
She called and I declined, so I texted her.
Oh. Tell her don't call unless you win. Bring me home money.
Yeah.
I will say this though, the one thing I do like that has been going on the most with some of the cards that have been floating around is that there's been cards popping up that I haven't seen in a very long time that I can get my hands on to. There's been like a lot of cards people have either been holding, and when the market went up, they still held. They didn't put them up for sale. And now you're starting to see some of them cards come up, whether they're, 101s out of 10 out of 25, or even like certain cards that were produced, say, in the 90s and 2000s that you didn't see a whole lot out there because there might only been one of that card in a case. Example, Black Diamond Sidney Crosby rookie. That's the one thing I do like right now, that I'm able to find stuff that I've been looking for a while. I can't stand behind being Bill. That's Sandy. That's one reason why I sat there and I made a dummy account up to put all my money in for grading because I pretend for PSA you got to wait till they get it. Beckett, once they log in the system, they took my money because I forgot about that. SGC and GMG wanted up front. So what I do is like if when I sent my order out here recently at PSA, it was like $800 for 4 cards. I took that money, I put it in a dummy account that I have with my institution. I got a bunch of accounts. That money sits in there. So when PSA then alerts me and says that my cards go into grading, I start watching it. And then I still have the old system to where when it goes into quality check 2, I get notified somehow by email. And that's when I'll put the money in my account because I know it's going to go into shipping within a day or two. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. His wife is luckier than me at the casino. I thought I had some luck. Like I'll get like $50 in free play and cash out like 200-300. Happy. So I'm like, that's a box of cards. His wife, man, she is the luckiest person I ever know. Like if I ever went to a casino, I would take his wife. I'd be like, show me how you do it because I want to learn from the best. Now, I'm not saying that she wins every time, but there's like you have the good success stories, you have your lost stories, but she can play some video poker. I'll tell you what. Wow.
No, she plays video poker, Keno. She'll walk around the floor, sits at a random machine. All of a sudden, lights go flash, and
Yeah.
I'm like, son of a bitch.
The only time I ever had that happen is in Vegas when I went to the Bellagio twice. Back to back visits, I had that happen going on the floor. I hit one machine, hit a $9,000 jackpot. Then I walked around for a little bit, started playing some other weird machine that had like wands and frogs and stuff, and I ended up hitting for a couple grand. Then I played my free play on the $50 spin machine. Always,
But then you do your stuff at home.
that's just lucky. They give me free play, and I'm like, well, I'll play $3-5 a spin, kill it real quick, and if I bring it over a couple hundred, I stop.
That
To
paid for
me,
your
it's a
debt.
box of cards. That's
Paid for your
sad, man. I
debt.
guess back in the day, I'd be able to get a few boxes of cards. Now it's like I could maybe get a box of cards with a couple $100.
Yup. That's what I'm saying. Everything's so high priced. You never know.
Oh, Sandy, I used to be big into horse racing back in from when I was a recruiter for the Army for 3 years in Pittsburgh. They had a place called Ladbrokes. So if anybody's from Pittsburgh area, they probably know what a Ladbrokes is. Well, they would have all these screens, all the races on. And so I would get bored and go eat lunch there because they had like lunches and dinners were like fantastically cheap and it was good food there. And so these older guys used to show me how to play like what was it called? A trifecta, superfecta, and there was something after superfecta. So this one time, this old guy gave me like this thing to play, and it cost me like $60, man. I was like, wow, $60 is a lot of money in 2000, 2001. And it was like this superfecta where like you pick the winner, but the next like 4 horses could come in any order, 3 out of the 4 or something. And I was addicted after that. But I don't understand it. Even though I live in Kentucky and it's the home of the Derby and all that stuff, people tell me bet on jockeys and all this stuff. I have no idea.
Oh, don't get into the share of cards where you own a percentage of the card. Don't get into that. Don't get into that.
Oh no, I can't do it.
Don't get into that. That's just another quick scheme. Sorry.
A pentafect. Oh wow, you already know the name. I don't even know what it was. The guy told me. I remember we picked the winner, and then we picked 4 horses after, and 3 of the 4 could come in any place, second, third, or fourth. And the long shot came in second place, and then there was another one that had high odds that came into fourth place, and that thing paid out. Like when you went up there and you started seeing hundreds coming up to you back there, I was like, oh my gosh. It was stupid money. I think it was like 4,300 I hit on that thing for $60. It was amazing money because I was back then my housing allowance was like $500 a month to live in Pittsburgh as a recruiter, and you couldn't find places for 500. I literally lived. I don't even know why I'm even saying this, but I lived in a retirement home place, right? It was $490 a month. I still had to cover all my own utilities and everything. And I'll tell you what, I mean, it was cool because I'd come home and they would be playing like bingo on Wednesday nights, and like Friday night was like bridge night and stuff. And they would do these. I think it was like every other month they would get a bus to go to a casino. So I'd go with them. They loved having the young guy around there. I'm like, where are y'all going at? I'm like, hey, book me a seat. How much is it? It would be like $20 and you get like X amount of free play, a free buffet, and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm game. Let's roll. That's where it got me all addicted. Then I went to Fort Carson, Colorado years. No, I take it back. I went to Georgia. I went through a divorce, and I just got back from deployment, and I was on being a drill sergeant for a while. And I ended up going to a school, and I had weekends off, and I was bored. And I was still messing with sports cards, but not like doing shows and stuff during this time frame. And I found out they had what they called these Indian casinos in Alabama. And it was like a 45-minute drive, and I was going there. But you could only play slots. There was no cards. Then I went to Carson, and it was all over then. Those places out there were all kind of casinos and super bingos, and I was done. I blame the Army. No, just kidding. Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, grading has gotten hard out there on a lot of stuff. It really has. What I used to think would get a 10 changed big time. And that's when I had to start investing in the tools and just learning different things. And if you can get with a good group of people that grade a lot and that share the knowledge, you really will learn. Yeah, it was something like that, but we added a fourth horse in there at the end. So like three was the win, and then it was like 1, 6, 8, and 10 could come in second, third, or fourth spot. I forget what it was called. I never heard of it before, and these dudes were telling me what to say, and I was like, huh? I literally wrote it down when I went up there and then worded it to the lady. And she's like, you did very well. I'm like, oh, thank you. Because usually I just go up there and be like, give me a 3, 6, 8 boxed and a trifecta. Now all of a sudden they were teaching me all these weird terms on wheels or whatever the heck they were called. So out of normal things here. Anybody hit anything big on any boxes here recently or case breaks or anything? Anything crazy out there? I mean, the last thing I hit was that Zion out of 10 that's really even worth anything, but I just haven't really opened up anything. I got into a soccer break today where I hit France. I don't know if he broke it yet or not. Maybe getting a Mbappe.
I broke 2 boxes of Sapphire and got the same cards out of both boxes. If that counts as anything.
To laugh about and feel bad the same time frame about that. I'm like, you know, that I had luck like that because Sapphire runs like that, but I would expect that more like if you would have had 5 boxes and 2 or 3 would have been the same run.
2 exact runs.
Boxes, man. I'm like, he was asking me today if I wanted some Sapphire. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I see how it's running right now. If you could guarantee me a Blaze Jordan run box back to back or an Austin Martin, I'm glad. Or I say that, or give me one that has a good parallel or auto in it.
The Vogel looked good. I looked it over. I'll send that to PSA. Actually, I sent you a package today.
Okay.
So that'll go to PSA. I have the Sabatos and I still have the Maximos here. No, I sent that back. I did send you those. Maybe for later on down the line, if during the when the what do you call value or whatever come back, I'll probably send it those ways.
The one thing I noticed about Sapphire this year, unlike other years, so if you look at your parallel card first, if it's a hitter or batter, your autograph is the same one. That's why I told you yesterday when you pulled that pitcher parallel, you had a pitcher auto.
That's not true, because my first box I got the Hunter Green Out of 99, he's a pitcher, and I got the Jake Vogel auto.
True, yeah. I didn't think about that. Oh,
Because the second box, I did get the Manoa at a 150 green, but I got the pitcher Kelly auto. So no,
that's
no,
weird.
because Hunter Green 99 and then the Vogel.
Everybody was doing 5 and 10 box breaks. I was watching it and I was like, man, that's really some crazy odds that your parallel and your auto are both pitcher or both batter. Oh, I didn't think about that. I thought you had both batters in the first box. I forgot about that Hunter Green.
Yeah, no. My three pitcher, I guess, inserts and then the Vogel auto. So no. Nope. I take that back. Out of the whole boxes, there was only 2 cards that weren't duplicates: the Bryson Stott and the messed up Ryan Velade with the line across. I only got one of those, but everybody else, yeah, I got dupes, and they'll probably be in the auction if anybody wants them. I'll have two, two of them paired together.
Yeah, Sanford, I used to be a big Bowman head until it started getting way overproduced onto it, and the autos are getting really spread out onto it. Also, it helps if you have. Oh yeah, the microscope. Yeah, it does help out a little bit.
Oh, you mean the money saving Dream Crusher?
Yeah, the Money Saver Dream Crusher. Bob's big boy. Yeah, I will tell you what. Yeah, it's hard on the ROI anymore onto anything. I think even case wise, unless you hit something really good on your case hit, and if you bought it at retail, you're probably not going to make your money back. If you're one of the guys that luck out on a Panini allocation and get full cases, I would honestly open them instead of breaking them because you're going to get some bang for your buck overall. If say you get like, I don't want to use NT, say you had 3 cases of Impeccable, odds are you were going to hit some nice stuff out of Impeccable. No War is just a hard product overall. You could luck out in all 3 of your cases. You could hit maybe each rookie card, 1 Wiseman, 1 Edwards, and maybe 1 Mellow Redemption, and a couple sneaker nice ones. But I don't think you'd make your money up unless you hit like a LeBron sneaker. Now those aren't autographed, of course, but the Dream Crusher. Hey, that thing has crushed many of my dreams, but it has saved me many a dollars. I will say
That's
that.
what I'm saying. The money saving Dream Crusher.
I'll tell you what, that thing there, whew, the money it has saved me recently onto it.
Oh no, we got the proof from the last PSA we got in.
Now I will say, like the stuff that I mail in Express and Super Express, I pray onto it that it gets 8s, at least an 8.
Yeah, no, man, that scope's doing its job. Proof is in the pudding right here.
Yeah,
We thought it was a 9, and we got a 9 on it.
yeah.
I mean, it's doing its job, but it's also crushing some dreams of cards what you wanting to get done.
I got the light off upstairs. That cat is running around. I don't know if you all can hear her meowing running around up there. She's like acting crazy. I forgot I had the light off upstairs. She hates all darkness up there.
Cats can see in the dark. What does?
Not this one. She spazzed out for the last 10 minutes. I hear her running around, meowing real loud. And normally she's down in here with me. Like Gray Cat's behind me right now. The other one.
What do you got? We got the Ray Charles of cats up there.
I don't know what's up with her. She hates all pitch dark for some reason. I don't know why. Like literally, if it wasn't for my night, the night lights aren't even on up here because I didn't flick them on. She just spazzes out like she can't find a litter box or something. I don't know what she's doing up here now. Normally, I'll hear her batting a ball or something up here, but that's not the case up here. She's just like going crazy. Eaton Park, that is the place to go. That used to be the place to go back in the day for the buffets. Pasta Steakhouse, yep. I used to do the mall shows up in Pittsburgh and Westmoreland County. Was it Westmoreland Mall, Greengate Mall when it was still open? Yeah, they used to have some great shows out there. I remember shows that used to be in hotels like the Sheraton Inns and stuff out there. I think they killed it, Bob, to be honest. I said that with football that I was not getting into it when they made it retail. I loved it as a hobby only, but they overproduced field level and every color a zebra stripe on a magical, mystical unicorn.
Wait for basketball.
Basketball is going to be the same way. I got one hobby box. I'm opening it, and this is just what I'm doing. Don't go doing it to anybody out there, but I will open my one box of hobby, and anything that I get that's not numbered or autographed, say it's like Alonzo's silver or courtside, that thing will go straight to whatever grading company can get it back to me the quickest and the cheapest, and it'll go right on eBay, and I'll take what I can get for it because they'll be overproduced again.
You heard him,
Yeah,
everybody. Do what he said.
select. What's that?
You heard him, everybody. Do what he said.
No, don't do that. I don't want to give you guys bad advice, and next thing you know, I'm wrong. And the select silvers are more rare in basketball this year for some reason, which I highly doubt. But
Come on, you're the Nostradamus of everything. You give all the advice. Everyone has to follow you.
no,
You're the
no,
Pied
no,
Piper.
no. I should start what is a 900 hotline up for that. I'm getting my fix.
The QVC of cards.
Penny is loading up their retail more and more with the prison draft football and on campus low print. Yeah, they are. They are.
No, Troy. That Burrow. That'll be in the auction next weekend.
Yeah,
I don't PT Burrow.
Yeah, he'll sell it. Like for me, I hold my Burrows because I live close to Cincinnati and all these guys out here want them. And it makes more sense for me to do a cash deal than it does an eBay deal offhand or, anything over the internet onto it. Because I got a PSA 10 Prism somewhere around this part of the area of him.
If it had 10, I'd probably put it in the safe, but it didn't 10. So
That's numbered, I think, too, wasn't it?
no, it's just the red cracked dice.
Oh,
They're not numbered.
That's right.
Yeah, the red cracked dice. They're not numbered. But all right, I think I'm gonna cut it off, dude. It's 11:30 my time.
Yeah, it's kind of late here too. Do you think they grade cards harder than the that are overpopulated with tens? Do you think that they grade cards harder that are overpopulated? I don't. I think I want to say the correct answer would be that they grade all cards fairly, but I don't think that's happening. I know this for a fact because of what I send into different places and the grades that they get. I think that also the sooner that you mail a card in that is sought after on a release, say it's a numbered card low out of 25 or less, I think that you have a better chance of getting a 10. That's just my opinion onto it because I think eventually they don't, if a card, say like the Griffey Trout, it's out of 10, right? I think if everybody mailed theirs in, I think you really only see like 3 of them, maybe 10, maybe 4. I think the rest of them would be 9s and 8s onto it. And it's not designed that way. It's because each grader is subjective. And I think somebody would be like, no, 9, 9, 9. There's already 10s out there. And that's my train of thought onto it.
Well, not just that, the new graders compared to the veteran graders, there's going to be a little bit of mistakes here and there, and a lot of more nitpicking. They're not going to be as seasoned as the vets are.
Oh, Bob, I got a nice video coming out tomorrow. There's one I just did. I think it came out today. It's on the 10,000 exclusive PSA 10 club. It gives you an idea of how much has been graded, but tomorrow or Sunday, I don't know. Well, actually, probably more like today or Sunday. There's going to be a video that comes out that's going to go over some of the high pop stuff that's gone through PSA last month, and it's an eye opener. It really, really is. And it's not all new stuff. There's 90s stuff too in there. Just making sure I got everybody's stuff on there. All right, everybody. We've been on for a while tonight. We do appreciate you guys stopping in, chatting with us throughout the night. Don't forget, I don't think I might come on next week. I don't know yet. If I get everything set up for Saturday's auction, It should be starting 6 p.m. Eastern, but once I get everybody loaded and figure out if anybody else is jumping in on, I'll get a schedule pushed out Thursday. That way everybody will have an idea for times onto it. And then the following week I'm at a show, so it won't be an overtime. So it'll probably be 1, 2, 3 Fridays from now. We'll be back at full force. I only do one show every 2 months, so it's not like I go crazy at going to shows. It's setting up. If I was just going to buy, I wouldn't care, but what I got to do set up, I got to do a lot of stuff onto all that end. I have not heard anything about PSA buying SGC except for in tonight's stream.
Hey,
That's
Gunner,
it.
what's up, man?
I just seen this comment. That's the first I've heard of it today. I think it's some kind of rumor going around somebody's spreading now.
Probably someone trying to just stir the pot before the national.
Yeah, somebody wants views. I don't know. I haven't heard anything on that at all. PSA is owned by another company, Collectors Holdings. So if Collectors Holdings trying to buy SGC, that'd be a different thing. But PSA buying SGC, I can't see it. I can see Collectors Holdings trying to buy another grading company, maybe.
We're just about to get off, Guns. We've been on for what?
Oh, was it? Wow.
3.5 hours?
Yeah, it's been a long one tonight for sure.
You said 2 hours.
Heck, I didn't even realize the time until the dog bugged me to go outside earlier. I was like, holy cow, we've been on for a while. It felt like an hour. But I was like, why do you need to go out right now? I just took you out 2 hours ago. I'm like, come on, please. All right, everybody. Well, I'll catch you next live stream. Don't forget next Saturday, definitely auction day. Joey will be in on it. I'll be on it. I'm going to try to pull a couple other people I know in on it too. So we'll get a few hours of different cards coming through and stuff. And I'll bring in the wax boxes from next week's releases: Museum, Gypsy Queen, Archives, Retired Players, something. All right, everybody. We are out. You got anything else from Joey? If not, I'll just hit the old end button.
Nah, guys, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up. And we'll catch you guys next time. Next time will be 2 weeks from now because we're not going to have this next Friday because we'll be having the auction. So,
and then the following Friday, I'm at a show. I won't be able because I got to set up.
So it's going to be a couple weeks. Maybe a couple of weeks before we hop back on this. So I'm sure a lot of stuff will develop between now and then. We'll have a lot to talk about in the next 2-3 weeks.
Definitely will. It's never a dull week.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Take care. Have a good one. We'll see y'all next time.